We've got more hockey here at Invisalign Arena on this Friday evening. Chris Lehman alongside Nick Perazzi as we get set for what is probably one of the biggest tests of the season for the NC State Ice Pack as they play host to the first of a home-and-home series this weekend against the Liberty Flames. But before we get into that matchup, Nick, we're going to look back at last week. NC State opened up their season here at home against the Georgia Ice Dogs. It was a tight one.
It was a tight one. Georgia Ice Dogs D2 this year, potentially moving up to D1 in the future. Sold out crowd. The barn was rocking. The Ice Dogs, Chris, for a good portion of that game, outplayed the Ice Pack. Obviously, first game jitters, but it was a 1-1 game going into overtime. Georgia was able to tie it up early in that second period. Not a lot of action since then, but in his 100th game as a member of the NC State Ice Pack, Zach Herman wins it.
Yeah, and there are a lot of positives to take from that game. I think the big takeaway that we saw that was a big difference in that first game from last year was the composure of this team in a tight game late. We were actually talking about it earlier this evening. NC State did not play this D1 Liberty team last year, but they lost 2 one-goal games to Liberty last year, and a lot of that had to do with the reason they lost. A lot of it was due to the fact that they didn't keep their composure. They kept their composure, and it paid off.
Yeah, and NC State even took a penalty in the final 2 minutes of that third period, albeit very controversial penalty. Everybody we talked to post-game said that was not a good call. We thought it was a very bad call as well. Ice Pack able to kill it. That's that composure, Chris, that we talked about. Everyone kept a level head after that. They moved on to the next play. It was a great-looking penalty kill as well. And overall, NC State did a fantastic job not taking those bad penalties. But against Liberty tonight, Chris, they've got to really double down on that.
Well, one thing they're going to need tonight against a very good Liberty team, preseason number 4 in the country, is good goaltending. And we saw some good goaltending last week. All 3 goaltenders, Toyer, Bartels, and Roberts, all got time, and they all looked good.
They really did, but how about Bartels in the third period in overtime, Chris? Potential. A little disappointed it wasn't on SportsCenter top 10. The save and the game-winning goal, as well as another save that Bartels had as well. But if you're Tim Haley right now, you got to be happy with how all 3 goaltenders played. Just 1 goal allowed, and it was because of a lost stick, if you will, that just started the period. The defense kind of let them down, but I think for NC State, the second game, they're going to play more as a cohesive unit. That's something that we talked about with Liberty's head coach, which we're going to get to on the other side of this next upcoming break.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great matchup and a big test for NC State here at home. The first visit from Liberty's Division I squad. We'll talk about that when we come back. seats starting to fill up behind us here at Invisalign Arena. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi here in Morrisville as NC State gets set to host the Division I Liberty Flames for the first time here in the Raleigh area. And Nick, as we've mentioned, is going to be a really big test. And for Liberty, this is their first real test. We talked to head coach Kirk Handy before the game, and we talked about how much respect they have for this NC State team. They did play this team up in Liberty a couple years ago, and NC State actually took a lead into the third period. So this is a game that NC State's expected to compete in. Yeah, it is. It's actually going to be the fourth meeting between the Icepack and Liberty's D1 team. For the Icepack, minus that last game, it still has not gone well for them up in Lynchburg, Virginia. All four of those games, they've allowed at least 7 goals, Chris. Lost by at least 3 in all those games, but they've got a D1 roster now. And, this Liberty team, who actually got a bit of a talk from Carolina Hurricanes defenseman Jacob Slavin a couple of days ago, who visited the campus, they're led by a lot of veterans, a lot of out-of-country players even, not even just out-of-state, out-of-country players, a lot of players from Canada. A couple of names to look out for today. Samuel Feemster is one of them, as well as Tucker Shields, Chris. Absolutely. That core is going to be important for Liberty. Just about every year it seems like they go deep in nationals. They did the same last year, and so they're hoping this is the combination that can get them over the edge. And one thing you need if you're going to be a championship team, good goaltending. Yeah. We talked about how NC State's netminders looked last week. There are 2 solid netminders for this Liberty team that NC State will face this week. Tonight, it's going to be Nick Bernstein, who did not play in the exhibition last week. It was Conrad Kausch who played, and while Kausch is the starter officially, it's not a bad goaltender in Bernstein behind him, a .921 save percentage last year. Yeah, and again, that's at the D1 level for all the Icepack fans at home. This is really, Chris, NC State's first test at the D1 level, and it comes against the number 14 preseason-wise in the country at ACHA. So if you want to beat Nick Bernstein, Chris, well, it's got to be high-quality shots if you're NC State. For Liberty, however, you got to put your pedal to the metal. Welcome NC State to D1 and welcome them rudely. Well, the band behind us is starting to play. We're going to take one more break. We'll come back and take a look at what NC State needs to do in this one on the other side.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate.
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons, hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese. Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. These programs cover doctor's appointments, hospital visits, prescriptions, shots, and more. As parents, we get peace of mind knowing that our children are covered if they are sick or get injured. You may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if you've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Seriously? Why do you do it? You ignore the signs and the flashing lights.
That's my dad.
That's my mom behind those cones. How would you feel if that was your family? Flashing lights mean move over.
From every town and every background, your greatest adventure awaits right where you are.
Isn't it time you found your own inner hero? Join your Neighbors Helping Neighbors. We need you, North Carolina. Be a volunteer today.
We're on our way to see the Canes, and Stormy's behind the wheel. Bad call, Stormy. Put down your phone and focus on driving. A public safety message from the Carolina Hurricanes, your local trusted choice independent insurance agent, and NCAST.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena. Chris Lehman and Nick Brazzi with you, just minutes away from puck drop between NC State and Liberty. Now we want to really turn our focus on this game and what these two teams need to do. We'll start with Liberty as the visiting team.
Yeah, if you're Liberty, I sit on the other side of that previous break. Welcome NC State to D1 and do it rudely. You know, and really that's just hit him in the mouth, play your brand of hockey, and go after it. You know, especially if you're Liberty, that first game was against Westchester, a junior level team, or not a junior level team, a club level team. In this game, it's going to be about automation. Talked to Kirk Handy before the game. He said, we got to play more automation. We can't play more of this kind of freestyle hockey. We got to play as a cohesive union. NC State, on the other hand, they're going to have to battle that.
Yeah, and I think the big thing to me for NC State is harnessing the crowd and the emotion. You never want to let emotions take over, but if you're NC State, you do want to keep the crowd in it, and you want to get on it early. I think a goal in the first 5 minutes would go a long way to getting this team off on the right foot.
Yeah, and again, I mean, look behind us. You know, it's another great showing from the Wolf, from the Ice Pack faithful. Now, the band was playing at the top of this hit. It made me want to take my shirt off, wave it around my head like a helicopter. But again, if you're the Ice Pack, you have to harvest this industry. The lights go out. Listen to this place, Chris. Harvest that industry. They've got light up, I don't know what they are. They light up pool noodles or something. Batons. Yeah, that's what they call it. Harvest that energy. If you don't harvest it, it's going to be a long night. And, you know, these teams play again tomorrow. So if you're NC State, your best opportunity to win a game from this series is tonight, and you've got to play your heart out.
Yeah, and the other part about it, finish.
Yeah.
They played a good goaltender last week in Haugen, but they had chances that they weren't able to finish. Finishing is going to be incredibly important because this Liberty team is not going to give you a lot of chances.
No, they're not. They're D1 for a reason. They're number 4 in the country for a reason. You're not going to see a lot of mistakes from them. If you do, you have to capitalize. But you've got to play your brand of hockey, and you yourself have to minimize those mistakes because Liberty will pounce on every opportunity that they can. That's why they're one of the best programs in the country.
Well, you can see behind us the crowd getting into it. It's loud here at Invisalign Arena. We're going to take one more break here pregame. When we come back, we'll take a look at starting lineups. We'll have our Perazi points, and then it'll be time to drop the puck between the Ice Pack and the Flames. Coming up next.
We're just about set to drop the puck between NC State and Liberty as the Ice Pack have their first big test of the season. This is the first of 2 games this weekend between Liberty and NC State. It is a home and home, so they'll be up at LaHaye Ice Center in Lynchburg tomorrow night for the second game of the 2. We're just about set to get going. As we get set, I'll turn it over to my partner Nick for the Perazzi points. Nick, what do you got for us?
Well, Chris, I don't know if you keep up with pop culture that much, but something big happened about 3 weeks ago. A certain pop star got engaged to a certain tight end, and I'm not talking about Jake Ferguson. Taylor Swift, that's the theme. I don't know how I haven't done it yet. But first, the man. Who's going to be the man for NC State tonight to step up? Second, blank space. There's not going to be a lot of it. Take advantage of it. And third, you need to calm down. Settle those emotions, especially if you're NC State. If you're Liberty, though, bring those emotions. Get underneath NC State's skin.
It'll be Zach Herman facing off against Luke Monroe as we get things started. NC State's starters are Herman, Prasma, and Gifford up front. Franzen and Labrizzi on the back end. Liberty quickly up through the neutral zone. Shot deflects off a stick and out of play. And that will get our first stoppage 15 seconds in. For the visitors up front, we mentioned center Luke Monroe. His wingers are Cal Essenmacher and Ryan Finch. Finch, of course, as we mentioned, brother of NC State's Austin Finch. On the back end, Nicholas Pomerleau and Luke Anderson with Nicholas Bernstein between the pipes. NC State has Ethan Roberts in net for this one. Shot from the point, deflects wide and into the corner. Collected by Monroe. He's pinned to the wall. Loose puck collected by Gifford. He quickly lost it back. Monroe has it on the wall. He'll be knocked down at the blue line. It's Pomerleau. Throws one towards goal, misses high, and hits the glass behind. And Liberty keeps it in on the near side. Chipped back down by Monroe, bodied up by Herman. The puck escapes the zone, swept right back in by Anderson. Flames will get a change.
This is going to be a physical game, Chris. Already, not even 1 minute in, the physicality is something that I don't think this arena has seen before at the ACHA level.
NC State with their first chance in the offensive end. Reese Johnson down the near wall. Turns in the corner, finds Govea. Shot hits a body. Ricochets out to the blue line. One-timer. Hits someone else in front. Finch tracks down the rebound for the Pack. Back up to the blue line. Through the skates of Mason Payne and out into neutral ice. Darlene tracks it down. He'll play it into the middle. And NC State clear the zone. Adamek. Swept in by Shields. Behind the goal, Roberts. Netminder throws it around the glass, and it will get all the way down the ice. Icing is waved off as Diem gets to it. He'll stretch things out up that far left wing. Left along the wall for Hayden DeMars. Had a great season last year for Liberty. Looking to build upon that. He'll backhand one wide. Chip back into the corner. NC State there for it. It's slapped around the boards, but not out. Ice Pack collect. Johnson there to help out. Squirts to the middle. Liberty has it, and it's sent over top by Mason Smith. Bounces back out in front, and Roberts able to fight one off. A lot of pressure here for Liberty. D to D. Walking in. Shot coming. That one deflects out of the play. Good look there for Michael Fisher, but it is all Flames here early.
Yeah, it is, and NC State a little trouble trying to hold the zone offensively. Then the other way, Samuel Feemster, the captain of this Liberty Flames team, great opportunity in front. Early test for NC State, but they play up to par right there. Really good job by Ethan Roberts at net to make a save off of that.
17:48 left in period number 1. Feemster to take the draw for Liberty, wins it back. Flames have won every draw so far. NC State dominated the circle for the most part against Georgia last week. In the near corner, they'll fight for it. Flames have it again. They're winning all the board battles right now. Walking out in front, the shot by Smith, swallowed up by Roberts, and we'll get another face-off in the NC State end.
Big save for Roberts. He's really showing how he played at the NAHL level. Oof. Not NHL yet, but really good screen in front. I don't know, but Samuel Feemster, really good screen job in front of him. A lot of traffic, but Roberts able to navigate through it, find that puck the whole time, and make the save.
Tied up on the wall. Liberty has it, but the pass misses Anderson. And the
Flames have to retreat. NC State will look the forecheck here. Flames break it out with relative ease. Anderson up that far left side. Picked up by Finch. His shot bodied down by Roberts, and he'll pounce on the rebound. Good start here for Ethan Roberts. He's had a lot of action, and he's looked comfortable.
He has, and how about that last save he just had on Ryan Finch? We take another look at it. And, you know, it's a little bit of a chip pass, but Finch is flying down the ice just like his brother. A lot of speed. Really crafty with it as well, and had a great chance.
Flames with a quick shot off the draw, whistles wide. NC State has it near corner. Rainbow pass out of the zone. Anderson knocks it down to the red line and shoots it right back in. Bronson chasing after it, but he's beat to the puck by Aiden Carney. Carney hands it off for Monroe. Back up top. One-touch pass down low by Pomerleau. Taken behind the net by Carney. And then force it out in front. That's denied. He has it back again. And plays it out to the blue line. Shot coming. Pad save made there by Roberts on Connor Dion. Liberty continuing to control. Finch sweeps one towards the goal. That misses wide. Breezy now in possession for the Ice Pack. Liberty needs a change though. And NC State some space. Aiden Brady in the neutral zone. Lifts it in. Wave off ice. Zay gained the red line. Picked up by Adamek behind the net. Flames carrying it out. The defenseman steps through a couple of Ice Pack players. Finds Shield up the far side. Looking back to the middle. That pass hits his stick. Well played there by Payne. Liberty though continuing to control. Payne has his man pinned to the wall there. Puck stuck in skates. 4 minutes gone here in the first period. Back up top Deal. Under some pressure. He turns it over. Darlene trying to break it out in camp. Continue to fight up high in the zone. NC State has it. Payne just chips it up and out. Nice pack going after it. Keegan Gilmore putting on the pressure. Getting some help there from Rinaldi trying to step out in front, but he can't take the puck with him. Flames breaking it out again. Fisher tried to just force his way through that neutral zone and couldn't. NC State will regroup in their own end. Things starting to settle in a little bit, it feels like, for the Ice Pack. Still have not been able to control much of the play here early. Flames looking every bit of their top 5 ranking preseason. Icing waved off as the battle, or the race rather, won to the puck by the Brito, thrown out in front. NC State's going to control the rebound. Some scary chances for Liberty, but here comes Prasco with speed. He'll stop in the hashes on the left wing. Button hooks with it. Still turning, looking for space. He'll slide it down low for Herman. Looking things over, back to Prasco below the goal line. Chipped out in front, and it's Bernstein getting a stick to it. Prasco again throws a bouncer on net, fought off by the pad of Bernstein. High slot, Gifford gets a stick to it. Herman along the wall. He'll take a hit as he sends it low. Prasco again. Looking up top, he's got Sodden. It bounces his stick. Sodden regathers and sends it along the wall down below the goal line. Prasco unable to control the loose puck. Now Smith for the Flames. Little give and go with the Brito on that left wing. Mason Smith, one-man break in there. Circling with it. Has 2 Ice Pack players there on him. NC State will win that battle. Kyler Son plays it back behind the goal. NC State can set up a breakout and get fresh legs on the ice. Sodden trying to thread the needle. Unable to hit his target. That's icing. NC State has to come back to their own end. Man, fast play early.
Very fast. Chris, we're only about 6 minutes into this game, but I think this game is going to be won or lost specifically for the Ice Pack on their ability to get out of their own defensive zone. Liberty's doing a fantastic job forechecking them, keeping the puck in the O-zone. NC State's got to figure something out. Still early in this game, you know, 2 intermissions to go, of course, where they can adjust things, but adjusting on the fly through the Ice Pack right now about how to break out of your own D-zone is a must.
Into the zone, Anderson. He's tied up, but he's going to draw a penalty in the process. And Liberty finally seeing some rewards for the work here in the first 5+ minutes. It's going to be a slashing penalty on Reese Johnson.
And if you're NC State, you know, you haven't really carried play to start this game. No shots on goal, and now you take a slashing penalty just 6 minutes in. You wanted to punch Liberty in the mouth, but right now Liberty's the one punching you in the mouth. And
this is a really prime opportunity for Liberty to just take control of this game early.
Flames win another draw. I'm not sure they've lost one yet. They'll set up the power play. Nice job by Franza to get a stick to that pass. Liberty power play still in control. Moved along by Adamek. Down low through the skates of Feemster and down below the goal line. Collected though by Smith. They'll work it back up for Feemster. At the blue line, Shields will play it all the way across. Shot through traffic. Nice save by Roberts, who seals off the lower half of the net. NC State clears.
Yeah, good chance for Mason Smith in front on the deflection, but again, Chris, Roberts right now is doing a fantastic job seeing that puck through traffic.
Here's Feemster. Across the blue line, hands it off for Shields. Turns in the corner with it, has a man up top, he'll go there. Smith, Adamek, back to Shields, top of the circle. He finds Feemster along the goal line, back up top. The long shot. Oh, it hit a couple of bodies and just missed that far post. Good chance there for Liberty. Halfway through the man advantage now. NC State has Reese Johnson in the box. Adamek. Across now for DeMars. And that shot ends up in the netting. We'll get a stoppage with 49 seconds left in the man advantage.
Yeah, Johnson's still in the box. Liberty doing a really good job moving the puck. This is that deflection for Seamster in front. And he just took a wide bounce high and wide. Actually, that was the last shot, excuse me. Right now, if you're NC State, 3 shots on goal this power play for Liberty. There's some things they can work on, but overall, I'd say right now, the penalty kill is doing its job. These are tough shots for Liberty. They're having to work the puck around a lot, but they can't win a face-off.
NC State going to get to this behind the goal. Darlene trying to clear. He gets stopped up below the goal line. Still there. Now the Flames have it, and they'll control the power play. Doc Smith moved along. Shot coming off the glove of Roberts. And that one misses wide. Good chance there for the Burrito. Another chance here for Cox Smith. That one's blocked on the way in by Kaufman. 20 seconds left on the power play. Moved up for Pomerleau. Across for Roy Smith. Back to Pomerleau. Now along to Burrito. Drags and shoots. That hits the skate of Darlene. It's out of play. Clock stops again. 12 seconds left on the man advantage. NC State, doing a pretty good job, I would say, of surviving this power play so far. One thing they've really done a good job of, and we kind of alluded to, Nick, is keeping the puck out of the middle.
Yeah, and it's a block party right now. Liberty trying to force the middle right now, but a good kill from NC State. Johnson out of the box. Liberty 0 for 1 on the power play.
He'll be cleared out. 5 seconds left on the Johnson penalty, and he'll come out here as NC State able to keep it scoreless through that 2-minute man advantage. Ice pack with Gifford, Krasma, and Herman out there. It's Sodden and Lapani on the back end. Flames getting things set up on the breakout. Pomerleau plays along for Essenbacher up that far left wing. He gets tangled up with an NC State player. The puck squirts loose. Here come the ice pack. Gifford hands it off for Krasma. Back into the middle. It works across to Herman. He'll hand it off for Sodden under pressure. He just sweeps it deep. Gifford's there. Gets under his stick. He'll chase it down in the far corner. No. He's tied up. Looking to the middle. That pass stolen away by Seth Wall. Liberty clears. Lapani shoots it right back in.
If you're NC State, you've got to harvest the energy of that penalty kill right now, and they have. They get a turnover at neutral ice. They set it up as forecheck. But here comes Liberty the other way, but the forecheck for the ice pack, Chris, is doing its job right now at neutral ice since that penalty kill.
That's exactly right. They're starting to do a really good job of mucking things up, so to speak, in the neutral zone. They're not allowing Liberty to get through completely.
They found something to gather energy off of, and they're doing a good job of it. That penalty kill.
Langston pitched towards it through the neutral zone. It's caught up in skates, and Gilmore will take over for the ice pack. Looking to the middle, it goes through the blue paint. Nobody in a white jersey can get a stick to it, though. Liberty trying to move out in transition. It'll be forced forward by Connor Dian. He'll skate it in from the left side. Down low, circling the net, looking for some help. He's going to hand it off to Adamek, who carries it back down low. Cycling behind the goal. Out in front, great play by Gilmore. He lifts the stick of Seth Wall to avoid that scoring chance. Shots are 7-0 Flames right now. NC State, though, slowly starting to find their footing. Robert's going to melt this down about halfway through the first period.
Well, you're right, Chris. NC State's starting to find their footing. But then Liberty comes back the other way. They get sustained ozone time. And, if we had the stats to show it, I'm sure Liberty would be tripling or quadrupling the amount of ozone time that NC State does, even if you take away that power play. But the ice pack so far, it's a tie game, but they've got to find a way to keep Liberty out of their ozone.
Feemster on Govea. Feemster wins the face-off. Liberty in control again. I'm sure NC State has won maybe one draw so far in this first period. Oh, a high hit knocks the helmet off of Finch. We'll see what the call is there. It wasn't hard contact, and Finch was kind of reaching in for that puck, but we'll see what they go with on the head contact here, if it's just 2 minutes or if they go with a major. I'd lean towards just a minor on this one.
We'll see, but on the other end, they blow that dead. It was a 2-on-1 for NC State. I believe Prasma and Johnson the other way. Smith will go to the box. It's going to be 2 minutes, Chris. They are just going to call it a minor.
That's the right call.
Yeah, I think it is. It's just the way the helmet popped off. They have to stop because the helmet's off on the ice. But NC State, no shots on goal. Good penalty kill. Just sustained some energy from it. Now in the power play, they have to take advantage here.
It's a big chance to build momentum if you're NC State. They'll win the face-off. Bronson touches it across for Prasma. Looking in the high slot, it pops the stick of Johnson. And now Pomerleau will shovel it out. And NC State has to regroup. Some pressure coming, though, from Hayden DeMars. Roberts just slides it around the wall. NC State trying to get settled in here. Good pressure, though, from Shields. He'll carry it in. Just protecting it in that corner. NC State defending. Good ice pack. You'd like to be a little more aggressive here. You got the man advantage. You have the extra bodies. They're getting outworked in their own end right now, though. Prasma in the corner.
Tucker Shields outworking pretty much the whole team line for NC State.
Over at the blue line, Pomerleau's shot easily handled by Roberts, who saw it all the way, but Liberty, better chances and more shots so far on this power play than NC State's got.
Yeah, for sure, and a good opportunity from the point. And 38 seconds gone, and Liberty 1 or 2 shots on goal. And NC State, 5 seconds of ozone time. It starts in the face-off circle, Chris, where they've struggled so far. We said they've lost pretty much all of them. They win this one. Can they break out? They've got the man advantage. They need to.
Get out and out. Gets past Kaufman. Diem slides it back forward for DeBrito. DeBrito turns it over at the NC State blue line. Here come the ice back. Dahlin leaves it there to be picked up by Gifford. He'll slide it down low for Kaufman. Gifford had a power play goal last week against Georgia in the first period. Here's Kaufman, turnaround shot. Doesn't get to the net. Labrizzi swats it across for Kaufman. Bouncing puck, tough to control. Dahlin settles it down. He's got Kaufman. Slid down low. Brady back out top. Across the chance. They can't get it to go. The second one does. Labrizzi on the power play. And NC State takes the lead.
In big games, the first D1 opponent to enter this building, the senior Nick Labrizzi gets that first D1 goal. NC State finally was able to break out a turnover on neutral ice. Holden Kaufman, a great job forcing it. They work across. Labrizzi cheats in deep. Great save at first, but Labrizzi looked like he banked it in off the backside of Bernstein. And the ice pack strike first, Chris. That was one of the keys to the game. Score early if you're NC State, and they've done it.
That's big, too. The crowd was a little bit quiet because of how much Liberty had controlled this game. And now the crowd is back in it for the ice pack. Should be Labrizzi from Dahlin and Brady on the power play goal. 1-0 NC State, about 8 minutes left in this first period. See if the ice pack can build off of it. Monroe brings it into the zone himself. It'll be thrown deep by Michael Fisher. All the way around the wall. Pomerleau to it. He'll send it back behind the net. Picked up there by Monroe out in front. Popped up in the air. NC State, though, can't clear. Finch looking through traffic. His shot misses the near post. Ends up in the corner. He'll scrum for it along the wall. Turning around, Carney. Playing around the wall with deep talent next to it for the ice pack. NC State being outshot 8-2 right now. They're going to, that was going to be icing. Going to be waved off. There's NC State capitalizing on the power play. 1-0 ice pack. Smith moves it forward. Trying to hand it off at the blue line. Didn't work out, but getting back to it, DeMars. In the slot, his shot blocked by NC State's Kyler Sun. Liberty not straying from their plan since giving up the goal, playing exactly how they were for the first 12 minutes. DeMars again looking to the middle, they score! Cox Smith with the deflection in front. Roberts didn't stand a chance, and we're tied at 1 just a minute and a half after NC State took the lead.
You said Liberty wasn't changing their play style, Chris, and if there was a stoppage, I was going to say, why should they? And this is exactly why. Their 9th shot of the game, just a great deflection in front. And if you're Liberty right now, ever since NC State got that goal, they played with a little bit of extra juice. They had an extra jump to them. They responded well. And if you're head coach Kirk Handy right now, you've got to love that out of your team, that they had a great response. That was one of the things he talked to us in the pregame meeting that we had with him. He said, we got to respond well. We got to play as a unit. No bad penalties. And so far, Liberty did that in response. He's got to be happy that's 1-1 now.
Just not straying from the system is really important, especially when you give up a goal like they did. It wasn't a bad goal by NC State. They did a good job making chances happen on the power play. Good shot from the point, blocked by Roberts. Now there's some chaos in front. Liberty did not let that goal change their approach. They score again. What a tip from the side of the goal. And again, Roberts didn't stand a chance. 2 goals, 33 seconds apart. 2-1 Liberty.
Well, how do you suck the life out of a building? You score 2 goals in 33 seconds. Mason Smith, the junior from Ruston, Louisiana. You're right, Chris. A nasty tip in from the side. There really wasn't much that Ethan Roberts could do there in net, and this game just got turned upside down in less than a minute.
NC State's going to have to regroup. Big hit at the blue line on Gifford, knocks the puck loose. Shot stopped by Roberts. Liberty all over NC State. They smell blood right now. Cleared out by the ice pack. Diem first to it for the Flames. No retreat. Looks up the wall. It's through the skates of Wall. And the Breezy will shoot it deep. NC State checks up on the blade offside. Now we put some pressure on Diem. Up the middle of his own zone, looking at that far left side. It's off the skate of Essenmacher and deep. Icing is waved off as the Flames get to it. Essenmacher can't corral it in front. NC State back to it. It's the captain, Zach Herman, who gains the red line and flips it in. Feemster to it, bodied up there by Prasma. Absorbs the hit. Now he'll stretch it out on and off the stick of Carney. Roberts gonna melt it down in front. Face-off in front of the NC State net with 5:34 left in the period.
Well, if there was any question, if you had any question for some reason why Liberty is number 4 in the preseason, they're showing you why. Not even 15 minutes into this period, 11 shots on goal. They scored 2 goals back-to-back in less than 35 seconds within each goal. And just the pace and speed they're playing at right now. I mean, they're playing NC State, outplaying NC State in a lot of facets of this hockey.
Smart play there by Hammonds. NC State, they technically won that draw, but they got to the puck first. And Hammonds throws it right into the glove of Nick Bernstein and gets an offensive zone draw here for NC State.
And good hustle from Rady, too, to force that face-off, because Bernstein can easily play that behind his net. Instead, it's an O-zone draw for the ice pack.
Kaufman wins the draw. Hammonds with the shot glove save made by Bernstein. He'll hold on.
It's a sneaky shot there from Hammonds. We have a good angle of it up here, Chris, where we can see it. It wasn't going to be on net. I think it just bounced a little bit when he shot it. But that's something Georgia did a lot last year. They shot right off the draw. NC State set things up. Try to catch Bernstein by surprise there.
Tried to do the same thing off the draw again. Liberty wise to it this time. NC State able to hold his own for the moment, though. Rady pinned to the wall on that far side. Trying to force his way into the corner. He's dispossessed. Luke Monroe takes over. His breakout pass misses Carney. This is going to be icing.
A good hustle there from Ryan Finch, but Tate Sawden did a really good job, boxing him out. It's a term you hear in basketball a lot, but you need it in hockey too, especially on those hustle plays for icing. Sawden, the defenseman, does the right things. He takes away Finch's line for it, says, hey, you got to go around me to beat this puck, to beat out icing. And instead, Finch, a lot of stamina lost right there.
Liberty wins another draw in their own end. It'll be knocked around to the near side. Ryan Finch there, looking up the wall. He finds Monroe. Turns across ice, absorbs a hit as he makes the pass over to Carney. Into the zone, Aiden Carney down low, swept on goal. Sealed off there by Roberts. Liberty
State scored on the power play to take the lead, but 2 goals in 33 seconds flipped the script, and Liberty with the 2-1 lead here.
Liberty right now just trying to set up this break out of their zone. They go with the stretch pass, assuming a dump or offside pass to follow.
Pomerleau to come to Smith. Smith scored that first goal. Pops loose, Pomerleau. Top of the circle, sweeping one on goal, easily handled by Roberts. Talon Langston to it, he'll leave it behind the goal. NC State looking for space to break out. As Pomerleau puts pressure on, the puck lands at the NC State bench, and the face-off will be in the NC State zone.
Yeah, the demon from Lewiston, Maine, a really good job of forcing a bad pass. That pass, to break out. Pomerleau was just sitting right there, Chris. If you're NC State, they had a problem with this last week against Georgia, getting out of their own zone, making smart passes. Still early in the season, but I think it's something they can work on a little bit, breaking out of their own zone. They struggled now the first 4 periods of the season.
Struggling to get it out the near side and can't. Shields with it for the Flames. Back up top, that's Deere. Laid down low once more. Now DeMar's in control. Dispossessed by Darlene. Forward for Finch. The centering pass stolen away by Liberty. Liam Smith in control. He'll circle back with it. On the right side, played forward for DeMars, who wasn't ready for the pass. Adamant. No chip and chase. NC State first to it. Darlene backhands it around behind the goal. Finch in the corner. Fans on the clearing attempt. NC State has to regroup behind their goal. 3 minutes left in the period. Shots are 13-3 Liberty. The Flames lead at 2-1.
I will say, Chris, NC State's done a good job responding after that last Liberty goal. Kind of played better defense.
Feemster with the shot. Stick save. Roberts. NC State clears. Pomerleau rolls it up the far side for Mason Smith. Feemster with a one-touch pass for DeBrito. Quick shot over the crossbar. Ends up back at the blue line for Pomerleau. His shot blocked by Herman. Swept across for Gifford. He'll bring it into the zone. Has a man trailing and Thronson. Quick shot. Steered aside by the stick of Bernstein. Liberty breaks it out. Feemster up the right side. Stopped up at the blue line. They'll battle in front of the NC State bench. Comes loose for Mason Smith. Turnaround shot from the point. Anderson can't get it through. NC State carrying it out. Here's Herman. Decides to chip it in as NC State needs a change. Ryan Finch for Liberty. Lots of speed down that left wing. Quick shot from an off angle. Roberts has no problem. Now Lapani under some pressure behind his own goal. Slams it off the boards. Caught the official. The NC State defenseman back to it. NC State moving forward. Kaufman trying to turn away from Carney and loses it. Finch has control now. Into the zone, centering pass. Pops the stick of Feemster. Or pardon me, of Monroe. Liberty could have had a third goal there. Less than 90 ticks on the first period clock. NC State forcing it through the neutral zone. Moving forward is Rady. Can't get a shot on goal. And now Michael Fisher looking to break out, finds Carney. Reverse hit there on Lapani. Loose puck picked up by Monroe. Finch with the shot. It's blocked out of play. And the clock will stop with 1:03 left.
Big hit there from Aiden Carney. We're going to get another look at it here. Just goes across the other way. And boom! Freight train coming. And his name is Aiden Carney, senior from Paradise Valley, Arizona. But Chris, something I've noticed, especially later this period, it seems like every 50-50 puck is going to Liberty. And I think it's going that way because they're harassing NC State players the second they touch that puck. Someone's on them, whacking with their sticks at that puck. And they're doing a great job of it.
Tucker Shields gets to the loose puck in the corner. He's pinned behind the goal, and NC State takes it away. Here comes Kaufman up the middle, looking to outlet for a teammate there in paint. Unable to connect. Liberty back in control. 45 seconds left in the period. Here's Adamek. Works it up the near wall. NC State there to seal it off. Rinaldi has it knocked away. Mason Payne to it. Backhands it right into Connor Diem, who chips it deep. side, and whistle looks like the puck got out of play. We have face-off in the NC State zone, 21.8 seconds to go. And I think if you're NC State here, you look at the way this period has gone, you'd like to be able to control play a little bit more than they have, but to some extent they're holding their own. They're obviously being badly outshot 15-4, something they're certainly not used to, and they've had to do a lot of defending, but they're keeping themselves in the game right now.
Yeah, and they've got to survive this last 21 seconds, go in the locker room just down 1.
Liberty wins the face-off. They'll play it down into the corner. Feedster, backhand pass out for DeBrito, can't get the shot away. It's loose in that near circle, stuck in skates, and eventually NC State's Herman comes away with it, knocked down in the corner. Puck still loose. Squirts out for Anderson at the blue line. He goes deep with Pomerleau. He's under pressure, and time runs out. Prasma might have had a breakaway had there been enough time, but we'll never know. It's been a hard-fought period. NC State doing a lot of defending, Nick, but as I said, they're still in it.
Yeah, they're still in it. And there's going to be a lot of adjustments to make for NC State, but number 4 team in the country, down 1, you scored the first goal. One thing that I think you got to do is that if you're NC State, and we're going to talk about this during the intermission break, I feel like they're playing a little too predictable and trying to set up the O-zone, moving through the neutral zone. Liberty is right there expecting those passes. A couple times already this game, I've seen Liam Cox-Smith intercept the pass, quickly go the other way with it because he knows what to expect. But the goal scorer, Nick Labrizi, got the ice pack on the board first, but it's Liberty. He struck right back 2 times in a row.
Well, I think if you ask NC State and head coach Tim Healy if they played their best this period, they would say no, but they are only down 1, so they'll look to build off of that as we get ready for the second. We'll be back with the first intermission as we head the break. 2-1, Liberty after 1.
second.
Yeah.
You have the second. After 20 minutes, Liberty with a 2-1 lead here at Invisalign Arena. Chris Lehman and Nick Perazzi with you. NC State got the first goal, but it was really about what Liberty did in the first period.
Yeah, Liberty carried play for, I'd say, about 15 minutes of the 20 in that first period, Chris. NC State's power play generated that goal for them. The penalty kill generated some momentum for them. But the rest of the period, Chris, it was all Liberty. They stuck to that system. We said it a couple times, and it's worked so well. They're out shooting them on the scoreboard behind you, 15-4 right now. And they're just dominating the forecheck. They're keeping great ozone time, and it's hard for NC State to break out.
Well, NC State, for the most part, did a good job of keeping the puck to the perimeter in their defensive end, but Liberty got guys in front, and eventually they were able to get a couple of tips, one in transition, but a couple of deflections past Ethan Roberts.
Yeah, Cox Smith, that first goal, just a fantastic job for Liberty to answer back so quickly. And then just 38 seconds later, I believe it, can't exactly remember who it was for Liberty that got the second goal off the top of my head. Blanking out, a little brain frog. But it was a nasty tip in from the side of the net. Puts you right back in front, 2-1. You know, first 2 goals of the game, back-to-back, gets you in front. That's exactly what you want. Again, Kirk Kennedy has to be happy with how his team responded, how they carried play. He just wants to see the biscuit in the basket a couple more times.
Well, we've talked about how this Liberty team is preseason number 4. They're consistently one of the best teams in the ACHA, really at every level. They've got D1, D2, and D3 teams, and you can see why. One of the things that head coach Kirk Handy mentioned to us was sticking to the game plan, sticking to what makes us successful, and you could see that in the first period. There was absolutely no change throughout the entirety of the period to how Liberty played. It didn't matter if they were on the power play, didn't matter if they were on the penalty kill, didn't even matter when they gave up the first goal, despite out-shooting NC State 8-2 at that point.
And again, it was a power play goal for NC State. Kind of an awkward high hit that happened. Right call, only 2-minute minor, like we said on the broadcast. But again, Liberty, you know, they're like, all right, we're down 1-0. Our systems work so far. We just haven't put it in the back of the net. Let's trust ourselves, or we're going to lose this game because of Ethan Roberts standing on his head in net. And it's worked so far for Liberty. 2 goals past them right now. A lot of great looks for them. They're going to continue to sustain that ozone pressure, sustain that system. And it'll be interesting to see what NC State does adjustment-wise. We're going to talk to alternate captain and defenseman Nick Labrizzi on the other side of this break to kind of see from a defensive standpoint what they need to work on.
Well, as you mentioned, Nick Labrizzi will join us on the other side. He opened up the scoring for NC State, the alternate captain with our Nick Perazzi on the other side.
I would never show my teeth. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens. Or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate.
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons. Hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese. Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. These programs cover doctor's appointments, hospital visits, prescriptions, shots, and more. As parents, we get peace of mind knowing that our children are covered if they are sick or get injured. You may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if you've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Seriously? Why do you do it? You ignore the signs and the flashing lights.
That's my dad.
That's my mom behind those cones. How would you feel if that was your family? Flashing lights mean move over.
From every town and every background, your greatest adventure awaits right where you are.
Isn't it time you found your own inner hero? Join your Neighbors Helping Neighbors. We need you, North Carolina. Be a volunteer today.
We're on our way to see the Canes, and Stormy's behind the wheel. Bad call, Stormy. Put down your phone and focus on driving. A public safety message from the Carolina Hurricanes, your local trusted choice independent insurance agent and NCAST.
Back here in Invisalign Arena, Nick Perazzi here with Ice Pack goal scorer Nick Labrizzi. Nick, second game back from injury. Kind of walk us through, that rehab process. Missed a lot of last year, but it must feel good to get that goal, to have that rehab process play off.
Yeah, it was a long, shoulder injuries are pretty complex, so it was a lot of rehab and physical therapy, but it definitely feels good for it to pay off and be able to play again this year. I'm just super fortunate.
Yeah. Now, that first goal that you had on the power play, kind of just walk us through how you got that goal, because as a D-man on the power play, you were pretty much on the blue, or pretty much almost in the blue paint. So kind of walk us through, what was your mindset going through there?
Yeah, it was a bit of a broken play right before that, but we kind of gained possession, and then Aiden Rady was able to find me backdoor. I kind of put it back into the goalie on the first shot, but I was able to find the rebound and put it off his back and in, so yeah.
So one thing that me and Chris have said on the broadcast so far is Liberty's doing a really good job forechecking, keeping that ozone time. As the alternate captain and really kind of the defensive captain, how do you guys adjust going into the second period to be able to break out more from your own zone?
Yeah, I think this was definitely a big test. I think we just need to be half a step quicker with everything we do, with our puck decisions, getting on them when they have the puck. I think if we can just be a half a step quicker, we'll be able to break up a lot of their plays and have some more offense for ourselves.
Half a step quicker and being able to break out of the play is going to be the goal for Nick Labrizzi and the Ice Pack. Nick, thank you for coming on. When we come back, me and Chris are going to break down what we expect to see in the second period.
Thank you.
On Liberty as we head towards the second period. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi with you, and we're going to take a look at the 3 goals. NC State, Nick, got the scoring going, capitalizing on the power play like they did last week.
Yeah, Nick Labrizzi on the power play just kind of threw it off the back of Bernstein, but quick, and I mean quick answer from Liberty. Smith caulks their first one, and then Mason Smith with a nasty tip-in reflection as well to get that second goal for Liberty to give them the 2-1 lead, Chris. But going into the second period, if you're Liberty, stick to the system. If you're NC State, play a little less predictable, in my opinion.
I think the big thing for NC State, too, as you look at those 2 goals, both of them, and again, the first goal by Cox Smith was in transition, but both goals come on deflections in front of the net that really don't give a lot of time to the netminder Roberts to react. So if you're NC State, you got to be able to clear out the front of the net in order to limit some of those chances. We're about set for the second period. We'll step aside one more time and come back with Puck Drop when we come back.
I would never show my teeth. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's gonna take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate.
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons, hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese. Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. These programs cover doctor's appointments, hospital visits, prescriptions, shots, and more. As parents, we get peace of mind knowing that our children are covered if they are sick or get injured. You may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if you've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Seriously? Why do you do it? You ignore the signs and the flashing lights.
That's my dad.
That's my mom behind those cones. How would you feel if that was your family? Flashing lights mean move over.
From every town and every background, your greatest adventure awaits.
Ready to start the second period here at Invisalign Arena. 2-1 Liberty as the two teams switch ends. NC State in white moving left to right. In the navy blue, the Liberty Flames move right to left. Ice Pack stretching things out. Moving into the zone, Jack Ammons slides one off the side of the net. No pressure behind the goal. Liberty, as we mentioned, incredibly consistent in that first period, even when they went down one. That's the reason they were able to jump right back ahead in about a minute and a half. 2 goals, 30 seconds apart. And about 2 minutes after they fell behind, they were ahead. Shots 15-4 after the first period. Here's Monroe into the zone for the Flames. Takes the shot, he scores! Beats Roberts short side. Thronson went down to block it, and he may have screened his goaltender a little bit. Liberty makes it 3-1.
Worst case scenario start for the Ice Pack. A lot of empty net on that right side, actually, Chris. I think Roberts just didn't cover, the blocker side that well, and a pretty good snipe there for the goal as well. 3-1 Liberty, 3 straight now for the Flames. they're on fire.
Well, if you'll remember last week, NC State gave up a goal less than a minute into period number 2 to Georgia. And it's 48 seconds into the second period here tonight that they give up the third goal to Liberty. And the Flames going to go right back to work. Behind the net, swept out in front. Gifford cleans it up for NC State. Herman will lift it deep. But this Liberty team, incredibly consistent, and that was really the message that head coach Kirk Handy gave us pregame, and that was the most important thing to him, was to see his team be consistent and stick to their game plan, and they certainly have done that.
Yeah, he said automation, Chris. That was the word that I got. Automation, less thinking, play organized. And Liberty so far, through the first 22 minutes of this game, have definitely done that.
Got a chance moving in. Fanned on the pass there for DeBrito. Has some help from Feimster in the corner, but NC State comes away with it. Finch gets the pass from Prasma. He'll dump it in from the red line. NC State going to try and set up a forecheck here. Finch in the corner, pins his man to the wall, looking for some help. Big hit there along the wall. Well played by Govea, and he gets stuck on the ground, getting some help there to the ground by Feimster. As the puck gets into neutral ice, a little extra pushing and shoving behind, but will play on as the shot from DeBrito is swallowed up by Roberts.
And if you're Liberty right now, keep it going.
The all-new ESPN app has arrived. It's all of ESPN, all in one place. It's your home for the most and best live sports, and a whole new way to experience ESPN. With over 47,000 live events, studio shows, and ESPN originals, and brand new features, it's a sports fan's dream. Check out Multiview and watch up to 4 games at once. Future Sports has arrived and is called ESPN, so download the ESPN app on your TV or mobile device, log in, and start streaming. Back underway here. 2.5 minutes gone in the second period. Liberty already adding to their lead. 48 seconds in. It was Monroe as NC State knocks a man down. That's Hygen, who's slow to get up. NC State going to get called for the penalty. As you mentioned, Nick, I believe this will be a tripping penalty, but Hygen, I should say, he's not able to put any weight on that skate.
No, he
is. I have to see. I want to make sure it's not just a missing skate blade. It doesn't appear to be that. He's going to sit down on the bench, but he didn't want to put any weight on that right leg coming off. It looks like it might be a knee. See if we can't get a look at it again.
Yeah, Jake Lapani will go to the box. Looked like their legs got tangled up. Not really a stick infraction of a tripping, but more of a leg. And the way Hygen went down, had to have several of his teammates on the bench help him up. Kausch as well. One more look at it here. And that was after the play, but a power play for Liberty, 0 for 1 on the night. This is a very lethal group.
Really good, even though they didn't score. They'll get set up immediately, down low. Worked back up for DeMars, and NC State will clear that centering pass. 1:45 on the clock left for the man advantage.
Yeah, Thronsing took that shot right to the hand. He's holding it, took his glove off, skating to the bench. Dahlin comes out. NC State's blocked a lot of shots so far.
Shields carrying it in now for the Flames. He'll circle behind, has some pace, moves it back up top to DeMars. One-timer coming, and that one's blocked away. Good chance there for Adamek from the point. They'll hold on to it again. Back to Shields, they'll play catch. Moved along for DeMars, who hands it back. Across for Shields. His shot right into the gut of Govea. It's in his skates, and he clears.
Chris, I don't think we've seen NC State block this many shots in a game in a very, very long time. This is a team that doesn't really get in front of the puck a lot, but against Liberty, you kind of have to. And
they don't often end up defending quite as much as they have tonight.
That too, but man, they have blocked at least 8 or 9 shots.
Finch with speed into the zone. He'll stop in the corner, drops it back to DeBrito. He'll play with it. Down low to Finch, back up for Cox-Smith in the skates of Pomerleau, and it deflects out of the zone.
Yeah, Cox-Smith kind of just hammered home that pass. Didn't look. It was a set play, but a little too much mustard on it. Great defensive play from Kaufman.
Maybe a shorthanded chance here. Holden Kaufman behind the net. Sweeps it out in front. Nobody in a white jersey there. And DeBrito has speed back the other way. He'll slide it to the near side for Pomerleau. Holding up at the top of the circle along the wall. He'll backhand it down into the corner for Finch. Ryan Finch elevates it across. DeBrito now in control. 12 seconds left on the man advantage. Here's Cox Smith. Drags, shoots. That one deflects wide. Back on the side of the goal, and Roberts will cover it up. 5 seconds left before Lapani comes out of the penalty box. And it looks like NC State might go 2 for 2 here on the penalty kill.
Well, Chris, it's time to mention it. I think you know what I'm about to mention here. Second period. A long change. You did it with your hands a little bit there, but for NC State, you've blocked a lot of shots. You've played a lot of defense, and this is a physical game. As this game goes on, there's going to be a lot quicker shift changes and time on the ice for these players for the ice pack. Your Liberty, just keep the physicality going and just wear down this NC State team as this game progresses. But a penalty kill for the ice pack again.
Now they can move forward. Gifford jumps into the play as the extra man back out. His shot deflected wide in transition. Oh, a big hit on Labrizzi away from the puck, or just as the puck had left. Play will continue. Seth Wall into the zone for Liberty. Throws it off the pads of Roberts, who directs it into the corner. Gifford plucks the loose puck. He'll slide it forward for Prasma. With speed, he plays the puck behind Herman, who gets back to it and sends it deep. Liberty immediately lifts it back out of the zone. Icing will be waved off. And Labrizzi gets to it first. Breakout pass, though, right onto the stick of Essenbacher. Chance for DeBrito, and a sliding block by Kyler's son. Great play by the defenseman, and now NC State turns back. Prasma into the zone. Has Gifford with him. Into the corner. Prasma turns under some pressure there from Joe Feemster. Ice Pack starting to get some zone time here. Haven't seen much of it in the second. Darlene in control now. Feemster has it taken away by Gilmore. He's tied up into the zone. Into the corner, works it back behind the goal to be swept around the boards. Mason Payne there, only has time to send it back in. A little over 6 minutes gone in the second period. Liberty adding to their lead in the first minute. NC State trying to get a little closer. Some good sustained zone time here. Talon Langston behind the goal. Hands it off there for Rinaldi. His centering pass disrupted. Now Darlene through traffic. Bernstein able to find it and make the pad save. Feemster first to it. Unable to control, though. Langston back up the wall. Held in. Well, it hops the stick, actually, of Darlene. And now speed for Mason Smith into the zone. His shot held onto by Roberts. Looked behind for a moment, but he was able to pin it with the blocker and make the save. Now some extracurriculars in the corner after the whistle.
Didn't quite see what happened after the play, Chris. We're going to have another look at this Mason Smith hustle play. It might be trying to see if we're taking people to the box here. One of the Finches involved. But look at Smith just fly down the ice. I mean, this is just hustle on the other end.
I see what it was. There was a tap to Roberts after he covered it up. That's what NC State didn't like. And so Feemster gets the penalty. I don't see an NC State player in the box or going to the penalty box yet. So this might be a power play for the Ice Pack. It looks like it will be.
Yeah, Herman was talking to the official, and it is going to be a power play. They just put it up there. So the captain for the Liberty Flames, Samuel Feemster, is going to take a penalty. We're going to get a good look at it here behind the play. Sticking up for your goalie if you're NC State. We saw the refs call a similar call last week late in that game against Georgia for the Ice Pack. They're going to be the beneficiary of this one here. 1-for-1 on the power play, and Labrizzi's out there.
Quick shot catches the glass. NC State wins the draw and controls. They'll look to set up the man advantage. Along the near wall, NC State turns it over. DeMar's in transition, shorthanded. Has some help coming, and Shields lifts one wide of the far post. It'll rim the boards and out. Kicked forward by NC State's Prasma. Now DeMar's again. Liberty not shying away on the penalty kill here. Anderson moves it backwards. Liberty to get some fresh legs out there. Just over 30 seconds gone on the man advantage. Labrizzi retreats for the clearance.
This is very similar to that first power play for NC State. Liberty, great job penalty killing for the first fourth of it. Now almost 50 seconds in, and NC State hasn't crossed center ice since the faceoff.
Johnson trying to receive the pass there from Prasma. It's broken up. Adamick has it now for Liberty. He'll carry it in. Carney coming with him. Slip to the middle, getting a stick on it, or a skate on it rather, was Labrizzi. NC State turns back the other way. It's an odd man rush. Here goes Prasma. Hands it off in the middle for Johnson. It gets caught up in his skates. Still loose in the slot. They'll poke away at it, and eventually it's swept out of the zone by Essenmacher.
Well, NC State, that was their only sustained opportunity. Whoa. Man, that Ethan Roberts got to put more on that. Really good play from Aiden Carney. Nearly had a chance for an empty netter right there.
30 seconds left on the man advantage. Gifford's shot fought off wide. Back up top, shot coming from Ammons, and that one's blocked. Darlene now at the blue line. He'll play it down the wall for Kaufman. Looking things over in the corner, Holden Kaufman back for Darlene. Again to Kaufman on the hashes. He'll play it out in front, and a glove save there from Bernstein. Clock stops, 10 seconds left on the power play.
All right, now I have 3 shots on goal this power play for NC State. A lot of them have been blocked, though, Chris. Not sure how accurate that is, but if you're NC State and that number is true, you got to be happy about it, but you can't be happy about the first minute of that power play because Liberty has carried play. They've had more chances shorthanded. It starts in the face-off dot again for the Ice Pack. They lose another one, but they're going to get it back.
Just about out of time as that one pops up and out of play. A lot of traffic in front. Talon Langston and Keegan Gilmore both there in front of Bernstein.
That's a tough save for Nick Bernstein, the senior from Cleveland, Ohio. Hasn't really been tested a lot today.
It looked like that one hit Langston.
Yeah, Herman hit his own
and
teammate.
He was right there. He was perfect screen by Talon Langston on Bernstein. Body down in the corner for Liberty as they finish off the penalty. NC State trying to poke it out in front. Tap just wide. Good chance there for NC State. Trying to feed off of a solid finish to that power play. Liberty going to clear. That's going to be a mistake from Joe Feemster, though. The penalty was over, and that's icing.
Yeah, it was. And one more look at just all the chaos behind the net. Really good job from Liberty, though, keeping that crease clear. But, Chris, that might have been the best opportunity NC State has had since they got that power play goal in the first period. There hasn't been a lot to come by. And if you're the Ice Pack, the more you go on in this game, the more you have to take opportunity of those chances and mistakes by Liberty. Because there's not going to be many, and there hasn't been so far.
Langston centering pass deflected out of play again. 10:49 left in this second period. Well, you mentioned Liberty really carried play in the first period. They outshot NC State 15-4. Shots are 4-4 about 9 minutes into this second period, and it feels like NC State, the start of the second period felt like the first, but it feels like they've, after that power play in particular, have started to settle things in here. They're getting some zone time, and they've got an offensive zone draw here.
They made adjustments. They're being able to break out of their own D zone, and they're sustaining O zone time. I mean, they're pretty simple things that you got to work on, but NC State really needed to. They've done a good job on both ends. The question now is, can they win neutral ice? Because that's where Liberty's really dominating this game.
The Flames in control. Elevated out. This one will bounce into the zone. No icing. Good hustle by DeBrito to negate that call. Centering pass hits skates. Slapped at there on the side of the goal. Smith didn't miss by much. Back up top, Pomerleau. His slapper floats high and wide. Smith to it for the Flames again. Has a couple of Ice Pack players there, and he's still got the puck. From behind, a nice play by Johnson to tie him up. But again, Liberty still in control. DeBrito plays it down low. Govea wins that battle, but again, NC State can't clear. DeBrito once more. His wrist shot off the glove of Roberts, who couldn't hold on, but NC State will clear it down ice. It's going to trickle wide of the goal, so that's icing.
Well, DeBrito with a good rip. Bit of a awkward save there for Ethan Roberts. But he's able to corral it. I don't think he saw it all the way, Chris. He's trying to glove it, but it kind of didn't hit him in the glove there. It hit him more in the pads, but he's now 17 of 20 on the night and .85 save percentage.
Again, Liberty controlling off the draw. Diem slides it down low for DeMars. He'll walk with it. Hand it back to Diem, who slides it back down low again. Cox Smith knocked off the puck. NC State has it. Well played by Govea, who outlets for Johnson. Finch coming with him. Reese Johnson has his shot hit a stick and deflect wide. And Liberty gets to the loose puck and controls.
Yeah, and Liberty's going to do a lot of this as the game goes on. Get their right lines out there, sit behind the net, and then get ready to attack. Keep NC State on their heels.
DeMars looking to shoot, has it knocked off his stick. Brady trying to break out, exits the zone, and then knocks a man off the puck as he lost possession himself. Cox-Smith to DeMars, and a save made by Roberts, and a couple of shoves after the whistle, and NC State will take exception to that as Cox-Smith with a couple of jams at Roberts.
Yeah, Cox-Smith jammed at Roberts, but the second he saw a couple of white jerseys come at him, he just kind of said, okay, whatever. In a way, that's kind of the attitude I got from Cox-Smith, and that's not a bad thing. He's not responding, he's not retaliating, he's not going to go to the box for it, and if you're Liberty, if you're Kirk Kennedy on the bench, you got to be fine with that. Now, they got a penalty earlier from jarring at Roberts, but as long as you don't retaliate, you don't dig into what NC State is trying to get you to do, you're fine with it. Just skate back to the bench, look for the next shift.
Kaufman wins the draw against Monroe. NC State lifts it up and out. And Fisher gets to the puck first for Liberty. He'll stop behind his own net. Rady watching him out in front. Flames set up the breakout. Rink wide pass to Monroe. He's shut down quickly by Kaufman. Well played by the centerman. Works it into the zone. Under a lot of pressure, can't do anything but dump it deep. Loose puck. Kaufman gets to it down below the goal line. Pinching in, Gifford trying to help out now and does. Fisher gets to the loose puck. He finds Feemster. And Joe Feemster sends it back to his D partner. Breakout pass, hits a skate. NC State takes over. Sun to Gifford. Cross ice, able to find a man. Sun in the middle. Finch getting back, makes the play for the Flames and shuts down what could have been a grade A for NC State there. Dropped off for Labrizzi. His shot gets through, but it was partially blocked by Monroe. NC State another chance. Oh, they couldn't stuff it home. Great chance in the crease, and they couldn't find the back of the net. But NC State continuing to get some ozone time. Sun back down the wall. Has a man there, thrown out on goal by Ammons, and a glove save from Bernstein.
Two grade A chances, like you mentioned earlier, Chris, for the NC State Ice Pack, but a fantastic save from the senior Nick Bernstein in net. Now, it looked like it was a great wrap chance for the Liberty Flames, for the Ice Pack, just going in deep.
NC State off the draw. Lapani shot off net, but gloved and held by the goaltender Bernstein.
Well, back to that shot, it was Ammons for NC State. Had an open net, but Bernstein got a little bit of help from his friends in front, but he also was able to stretch out his right leg, that right pad leg, to take away that angle for Ammons. Really good goaltending, really good defense for Liberty in the scramble drill.
Herman will take the draw, captain on captain against Sam Feemster. And Liberty comes away with it. Pomerleau laid behind for Anderson. Whiffs on the initial pass, but the second attempt finds DeBrito. In the middle, Feemster picks up the loose puck. He gets stopped up at the blue line. This is Pomerleau with the pass backwards, and now Prasmo will put on some pressure. Pomerleau with speed behind his own net. Plays it off the wall for DeBrito. Nice pass back, and now forward for Smith. He'll look for some help. Pomerleau in the middle, and a good play from behind by Rinaldi to shut that down. NC State back up the other way. Dahlin at the blue line. He dumps it in. Prasma in on the forecheck against Anderson. Out in front, but it was Herman heading to the corner to support the forecheck, so nobody in front of the net. Mason Smith again. Sweeps one on goal. Pad save Roberts. Rebound taken off the wall by Rinaldi. He'll move it forward. Under 7 minutes to go in the second. Shots are 21-11 in favor of Liberty. NC State, though, out shooting the Flames here in the second period. 7-6. Tied up along the wall. Seth Wall of Liberty trying to knock it loose. Flames going to have to retreat for it, though. Connor Diem. He's got space to skate it through the neutral zone. Lifts it in. Mason Payne for NC State. Touches it to space. Sodden will lift it off the glass and out. This one's too strong and icing.
Well, Sam Feemster got knocked down hard on his own end right in front of his bench. Could have easily came off as NC State went the other way with numbers. Instead, he got up and hustled back, made a defensive play, hustled back onto the offensive end, kept Liberty the puck, then got off. That's everything you want out of a captain, as Roberts covers up that little flimsy shot, if you will. But that's what you want out of a captain, Chris. And being the captain of Liberty Flames, one of the best programs at the ACHA level, it's a big deal. And Feemster showed you why he wears that C on his chest just then.
NC State with Govea at the face-off circle, wins the draw over Tucker Shields. Reese Johnson knocked off the puck, but Finch is there to collect in the neutral zone. He sends it in from the blue line. Bernstein gets a paddle to it. He'll play it up the near wall. Liberty pushes it through the neutral zone. DeMars, well played though by Mason Payne at the blue line. He clears it back out. No icing here. Play will continue. NC State, it seems like in both periods as it's worn on, they've started to play better. Still trying to find something and try to cut the lead back down to 1. Govea touches it off the wall for Johnson to track down. He's marked by Fisher, who's knocked down. Liberty, though, with the support to continue possession. Now the puck gets out of play, and we've got a whistle.
I think it's just a whistle for the puck out of play, Chris. But that first period, it was all Liberty. They carried all plays to play. But NC State's played up to them now, Chris. They're taking a lot of that empty space Liberty had to work with in the last period. They're playing a lot better defensively, and it's generating them offensive chances. Now, it's a cliche saying, Chris, but NC State needs to rely on it, I think, for a good portion of this game. Good defense is going to generate the offense for them.
Scrum in the face-off circle. Transitions to the wall. Liberty comes away with it. Continue to win the majority of the board battles. Pass out in front. Chance here for NC State. Ammons didn't really have a great opportunity to shoot. Made one extra pass. NC State doesn't get a shot away. Liberty now into the zone offside. They'll have to check up. That gives Labrizzi time to look things over. D to D with Sun. Looking for Rady. They can't connect. Now Finch chips it in for Liberty. He'll go after it. Kyler Sun the first there for the Ice Pack. Caught up in his skates. Monroe into support for the Flames. Work back out to the blue line. Slap shot from Pomerleau is stopped by the netminder Roberts. Little pushing and shoving off to the side.
Yeah, Finch and Sun going at it behind the play, but that slap shot in front, Roberts did the right thing. He came out. We got a discussion behind the net. But one more look at that slap shot from the top from Pomerleau. And Roberts, you can see him come out of the crease a little bit. You know, take away a lot of that angle of the slap shot. You're just looking for speed on the slap shot. There's not a lot of aiming when it goes into it. You know, you're just going on that. You're hoping it beats him somewhere. Roberts did the right thing, came out a little bit, got it into his chest and made the save.
That was a good shot from Pomerleau, too. It was right in his wheelhouse for the one-timer.
A lot of empty space in front for him as well.
Puck was chipped out of play by Sodden. Face-off will be on the near side of Roberts again. 4:26 left in the period.
Be curious to see if Pomerleau lets another one rip. I know he's proud of the last shot, but I know he wanted to get in the back of the net.
Pomerleau unable to handle the win. It was too strong by Feemster. Anderson back for it. Risks one forward. That misses everybody. Should be icing as Darlene is the first to it. Face-off comes back to the Liberty end.
Yeah, and speaking of Pomerleau again, I saw his facial expression looking towards the bench, just grinning like, I missed that one. Now, if he's able to hold the zone, I think Liberty could easily build something there, but it just puck kind of bounces over him and, full whirlwind of like, now NC State's going to have the ozone draw, and Pomerleau out there with some tired legs.
NC State doesn't win, but Darlene holds the line for the moment. Second clearing attempt gets out. Smith trying to settle it down now for Liberty. Centering pass. Darlene ties up DeBrito. No chance there for the Flames. Pomerleau behind. Steps away from a check. He'll walk out from behind the net. Back out for Anderson at the blue line. His shot blocked down by Lapani. Smith to it for the Flames. Played along trying to catch DeBrito, but it's Herman in the way. DeBrito has it in the corner now, though. Darlene there on him. Darlene takes him down, but able to find Smith anyhow. Out in front, can't connect with Feemster, and now Herman heads back the other way. At the red line, tried to play it in, that's blocked away. And Liberty back in control, quickly through neutral ice, it's Mason Smith. Leaves it off for Feemster, contact on the way in as DeMars and Darlene came together. Now Darlene taken down by DeMars in the corner. Diem up top. D to D with Adamek. Played off the boards. They'll jam away at the far post behind the net.
Penalty
Cox
coming
Smith
up.
looking to go. Knocked down was Roberts. Penalty coming up though on NC State as Bernstein going to the bench for the extra skater actually comes to play the puck. Now Herman gets a touch to it, and NC State going off for a cross check here. I think the Ice Pack's starting to get frustrated. This will be Lapani, and he gets called for a second penalty this period.
Yeah, Chris, I was going to say before, behind the play, Darlene took down DeBrito after he got hit by him, kind of WWE style, and then gave him a shot to the back of the head. The ref saw it, didn't call anything. That very well could have been a 2, maybe even a 4-minute minor penalty because DeBrito was on the ground. And you saw Darlene try to make another big hip check in the corners there, but then it's Lapani who let the emotions get the best of him. There's a lot of contact with Roberts, and that's what he's asking about. And he's saying, look, I got hit a couple times from Liberty players. They're skating into me. Now maybe he's asking why Lapani's in the box and not a blue jersey.
I think they wanted to make sure with the contact, too, that he was okay to continue. Liberty sets up the power play now. Cox Smith, top of the circle. Back down low for Finch, walking the goal line. Cox Smith again, shot blocked. It'll be held in by Pomerleau. Back to Liam Cox Smith. Elevated across, off the wall. DeBrito to it, under some pressure from Mason Payne. Picked up by Monroe. Cox Smith again. Finch, up top, Pomerleau. Now DeBrito shoots, he scores. First power play goal of the game for Liberty. They've now scored 4 unanswered. It's 4-1.
Well, the senior from Fergus Falls, Minnesota, just let it rip from the point. Look how open he is right here at the top. Just an easy rip on Roberts. And if you're Liberty right now, things are rolling. It hasn't been the best period, especially when you carry it to the first. They've still carried a good portion of play this period, but man, NC State made a mistake. We said at the top of the show, Chris, you can't make too many mistakes and expect Liberty not to capitalize on them. Third penalty of the game, Liberty makes them pay.
Just took 30 seconds of 5-on-4 time for them to capitalize. And they're going to go right back to work in the offensive end. Rinaldi trying to break out. He'll absorb a hit as he clears the zone. Swatted in at the red line by Talon Langston. NC State trying to set up the forecheck. Labrizzi from the blue line throws one in. Rebound, trouble controlling it for Bernstein. But Liberty has plenty of blue jerseys there to control the chaos. Kyler Sun takes contact from Shields. Cox Smith at the red line, finds DeMars, handed off for Shields, who will carry it in. Dumped at the blue line, though, by Labrizzi. Loose puck picked up by DeMars behind the goal. He'll work it up the near wall. Spins it back down low. Mason Smith there. He'll take a hit from Langston, looking for Shields, who gets back to it on the wall. Moved up top and worked D to D to Anderson. But it pops out of the zone. NC State trying to get a couple fresh legs out there.
Yeah, Rinaldi almost went off, but then he stayed on because Liberty was like, hey, we can take advantage of this, get it back. Good job staying out there and delaying this Liberty attack.
Feemster risks one high. Diem trying to hold the zone. Rinaldi there forces it out. Poked along, and here's a chance for Jack Ammons. He'll carry it in all alone. Under pressure from Diem, who knocks him down. Loose puck picked up by Adamek. And now Liberty moving through neutral ice. Pass hops the stick of Feemster. Smart play by the captain. Oh, I thought he had stayed on side, but he came in just a bit early.
Well,
and a face-off comes back into neutral ice with 51 seconds
left. Well, Adamek jumped off sides, but Chris, he got back. He touched back up on the blue line, actually skated across it. I don't think that should have been off sides for Liberty.
I think Feemster got in just before he got out.
But it was close, very close.
NC State will get control off the draw. Ammons has it knocked off his stick, but Kaufman there to shoot it deep. 42 seconds left in the second. Liberty clears it down the ice. This one's not going to have enough juice for icing. Lapani off the wall for Rady. Into the middle, he's got Sun. Move for Ammons on the near right side. Liberty shuts that down, though. Aiden Carney knocked off the puck. Monroe shoots it deep. 20 seconds left. Roberts behind the net, moves it up the near side. Rady has it on the wall. Pressure there from a couple of Liberty Flames. Kaufman in to help as well. He's got possession, lifts it up but not out. Here's Fisher. Shot off the skate of Kaufman, ricochets to the far side, hacked out by Darlene, and that should finish off the period. But Liberty not letting up in the second. They continue to push. They pick up 2 more goals, Nick, and they've got a comfortable 4-1 lead after 40 minutes.
Yeah, they do, and you know, NC State, minus the very early goal just 48 seconds into the period from Liberty, you know, they played up to them for a good part of that period, especially in the middle part, but you know, as the period went on and on, Liberty stuck to their system. They're wearing out NC State, started getting underneath their skin, found the back of the net again off an NC State mistake. They started carrying play again, and I think the story for the third period, Chris, is going to be the physicality. It's really picked up in about the last 7 or 8 minutes. And you know, for the rest of this game, I think the refs are going to try to take control. We've seen Roberts get hit a couple times. We've seen a lot of big hits behind the play too, even in that last minute. But I think for the rest of this game, if you're NC State, try to wait to come back, you know, at least leave this building on a high note.
Yeah, I think if you're NC State, the goal going into period number 3 is win the period more than anything else. If you can get within striking distance and give yourself a chance late, that's definitely a plus. But at this point, you look at the way Liberty's been able to control play here. NC State, you just want to try to stay with them and try and win a period here. Well, we're just about set for the second intermission. Liberty strikes twice in the second. Their lead grows from 2-1 to 4-1. We'll be back here on ESPN+. It's a 4-1 lead for the Liberty Flames after 2 periods. Chris Lehman and Nick Perazzi here with you at the second intermission. And Nick, as we mentioned, this Liberty team just continues to be consistent.
Yeah, they definitely do. And you know,
from an NC State perspective, they played a lot better that second period. Liberty-wise, the matchup got a little tougher, but man, does that system work for the Flames. That power play, Chris, is professional level, the way they whip the puck around, going point to point, finding those open slots. They don't shoot it a lot. A lot of teams at this level will just let it rip a lot, not really set anything up. But Liberty's power play is just a cohesive unit. And like we said at the top of the show, like we talked about with head coach Andy, they've got to do less thinking and play more as a unit. And that's exactly what the Flames have done through 40 minutes.
Yeah, and if you're NC State, you have to minimize mistakes. You mentioned it after that second goal. Liberty is going to make you pay for the mistakes you make. That's why they are a top 5 team in the preseason rankings, and they showed it again this period. And it only took 48 seconds for them to get that third goal.
Yeah, it did. NC State a little sleepy, if you will, coming out to start this period. I want to talk more about that power play goal, Chris, because NC State kind of turned the tide a little bit. They played a lot better, especially in the middle part of that period. But then you take a penalty, right in front with the cross-check, and then Liberty comes the other way, makes you pay in the power play. That's what we're talking about with those minimizing mistakes, because Liberty's going to make you pay. That's exactly what happened there. Textbook example. If you're in that NC State locker room right now, it's something that played you a lot last year was those penalties that led to those opportunities for visiting teams. Happened once again.
And you look at Ethan Roberts in his first start for NC State. This is a tough opponent to have to make your first start against. And in that first period, couple of tough goals. You're not really going to have much of a chance as a goaltender on those deflections. But particularly the fourth goal, I thought he might have been able to get. And I do wonder if, he's starting to wear out maybe a little bit. He's seen a lot of shots. And, it's tough when you have to play a team like this and have to be on for so much of the game.
And I was going to say, it's not all just about the shots. He's having to be ready for any shot for a majority of this game because the puck has been on the NC State defensive end for so long. Liberty's keeping him on his toes, and there's potentially almost 15 shots blocked from NC State, in the first 40 minutes. That's a lot. And obviously they're not blocked. They go right on net. There's a lot of traffic in front. Liberty's being crafty with their shots. You said it. Tough opponent for Roberts, but he's been having to be ready for every single shot, potential shot, for the entire game, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, as we talked about Roberts here, he's certainly been one of the hardest working guys on the ice tonight. We're going to talk to his goalie coach, Alex Rossetto, when we come back.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens. Or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate.
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons. Hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese. Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. These programs cover doctor's appointments, hospital visits, prescriptions, shots, and more. As parents, we get peace of mind knowing that our children are covered if they are sick or get injured. You may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if you've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Seriously? Why do you do it? You ignore the signs and the flashing lights.
That's my dad.
That's my mom behind those cones. How would you feel if that was your family? Flashing lights mean move over.
From every town and every background, your greatest adventure awaits right where you are.
Isn't it time you found your own inner hero? Join your Neighbors Helping Neighbors. We need you, North Carolina. Be a volunteer today.
We're on our way to see the Canes, and Stormy's behind the wheel. Bad call, Stormy. Put down your phone and focus on driving. A public safety message from the Carolina Hurricanes, your local trusted choice independent insurance agent, and NCAST.
Back here in Invisalign Arena, Nick Perazzi here with goaltending coach Alex Rosetto. Alex, down 4-1 on the scoreboard right now. What adjustments do you guys have to make going into the third period?
Just coming out, number one, we got to pick up the physicality a little bit, right? I think we kind of let that slip there. Number two, we got to keep getting that puck deep and then go get it. I think we're trying a little bit too much, right? When you try a little bit too much, you turn the puck over, you don't generate the shots like you would. So, and then, honestly, I think we're trying to overpass it a little bit sometimes too. So maybe skate it a little bit more, get our heads up, and make the right choice. So. It's a big speed adjustment for us. So.
Yeah, and down 3 on the scoreboard right now, not where you guys want to be, but mindset-wise, what do you want your players in black out there to do going into this period?
I think the biggest thing for us is not to give up, right? It's tough being down 4-1 right now, right? So 3 goals is, especially against a team like this, but we got to come out, we got to play our game. We got to realize that the majority of our games this year are going to be like this. Yeah. So. This is one thing where we're going to see the tenacity and the grit to this team. So hopefully we show our true colors here.
Yeah. And one more question for you here. Alex Rosetto, goaltending coach of the NC State Ice Pack. I've got to ask you a goaltending coach, or a goaltending question, if I will. But Roberts has, he's allowed 4 goals on 23 shots, but me and Chris were just talking about it. He has to be ready for such a long period of time because the puck's been in, your guys' D zone a lot. Now, how much of a wear and tear factor does that take on a goalie? Because he's had to been ready for majority of this game.
Well, it's a real cardio workout because a lot of times you're getting up, you're getting down, you're getting up, you're getting down. Even though you're not necessarily, it's not reflected in the shots. There's a lot of times where you're moving, you're staying set. Yeah. So. I would say our D-zone time has been through the roof, so we do need to give him that break. We need to establish that puck in their zone and kind of give him a little bit of a chance to take a breather back there.
Yeah, someone once said it, Robert Griffin III said it, HBO, help a brother out, and I think the demon for you guys, they need to help Roberts out, because a lot of times they're blocking shots for him, but he just has to be ready for a good bit. So again, I'd like to thank you for coming on here, Alex. When we come back, me and Chris are going to break down what we expect to see from each team in the third period.
literally. We're about to go on. 5.
We're closing in on period number 3 here at Invisalign Arena. Liberty up 4-1 on NC State. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi with you. And Nick, it's going to be a hard-fought period for NC State. What do they need to do to win the period?
Well, if you don't hear the band right now, they're playing Narco as a Mets fan who they keep losing. But this is Edwin Diaz, their closer's walkout song. It's a closing period. You got to close the game well. NC State has to win this period. They said it right before they went to break at the end of the second. Just win the period. If you end up losing the game, build on some momentum for tomorrow. It's 3 goals. It's very doable. 3-0 lead's a dangerous lead. 4-1's dangerous too. We've seen NC State blow a 4-1 lead. They could potentially come back in this one. But I think overall, Alex Rossetto said it best. Players trying to do a little too much, skate the puck in a little deeper. Cliche, dump and chase, get the puck in deep. But I genuinely think NC State needs to do that.
Yeah, and I think the big thing that I'm going to be looking for in this third period, and it was the first thing that Alex Rossetto mentioned when you were talking with him, that's physicality.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week, particularly in the second period. NC State looked scared of contact. There were points in time in that second period here tonight where it looked the same.
Yeah.
Now, last week, obviously, they come away with win. They also didn't play Georgia a second time. Tomorrow, they've got to head up to Liberty. They have to play the same Flames team. So regardless of whether you win or lose tonight, you want to set a tone for tomorrow and let Liberty know that coming into tomorrow, we're going to fight. We're not going to roll over. Well, we're going to find out what NC State has in the tank in period number 3. We'll be back with Puck Drop next.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens. Or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate.
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons. Hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese. Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. These programs cover doctor's appointments, hospital visits, prescriptions, shots, and more. As parents, we get peace of mind knowing that our children are covered if they are sick or get injured. You may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if you've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Seriously? Why do you do it? You ignore the signs and the flashing lights.
That's my dad.
That's my mom behind those cones. How would you feel if that was your family? Flashing lights mean move over.
From every town and every background, your greatest adventure awaits right where you are.
Isn't it time you found your own inner hero? Join your Neighbors Helping Neighbors. We need you, North Carolina. Be a volunteer today.
We're on our way to see the Canes, and Stormy's behind the wheel. Bad call, Stormy. Put down your phone and focus on driving. A public safety message from the Carolina Hurricanes, your local trusted choice independent insurance agent, and NCAST.
40 minutes down, 20 to go here in Morrisville, North Carolina. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi set with you for the third period. It's 4-1 Liberty. The Flames win the opening draw. We're underway in period number 3. Roberts will play it behind his own net. Throws it around the wall. Liberty stepping in. And Anderson at the blue line throws it at the net. Ricochets wide. Liberty continuing the pressure that they've put on for most of this game. Off the skate of Monroe and out. Gifford hustling after it at the blue line. Finch comes back to help for Liberty. He'll play it around behind his own net. Misses Anderson though. And NC State's Labrizzi sends it back into the far corner.
Well, if you're Liberty going into this third period, you can't play to lose. You're talking about how NC State needs to build momentum tomorrow. Liberty needs to sustain the momentum they have this period going into tomorrow with the home crowd at a home game. It's going to be a big one up there in Lynchburg for sure, fan-wise as well. But you can't play to lose this third period if you're the Flames right here. Keep the pedal to the metal.
Anderson at the red line shoots it deep. Roberts stops it behind his net. Has a defenseman on the near side. Breakout pass on and off the stick of Johnson. Flames throw it back deep. Ice Pack get to it first. Just over a minute gone this period. Darlene can't clear. Shields holds the line. Now Diem thrown towards the net. Doesn't get to goal. NC State has it. Now it's Austin Finch pestered from behind by DeMars. Johnson loses his stick. Thrown on goal by Finch, who's knocked down as he takes the shot. And now Liberty able to break out. DeMars handed off for Liam Cox-Smith. Back to DeMars, top of the circle, shot, blocker save Roberts. NC State's Johnson has the rebound. He'll be knocked down. Finch now swats it out of the zone. Diem shoots it right back in. Pass floated out now for Kaufman. Start of this period a little bit more docile on both sides. Sodden holds the zone. Swept on goal. Pad save made by Bernstein on Kaufman. Feemster looking to break out. Pass for DeBrito deflected away. NC State gets to it first. And Mason Payne shoots it deep. Here's Michael Fisher. Looking for Smith. And it's going to get out of the zone as Aiden Rady couldn't quite keep it in.
And he doesn't agree with it, but that puck did clearly leave the zone. Even if it was just by a smidge, it did leave. But I mean, if you're NC State right now, Liberty, they're slowing the pace of play down just a tad. This is a prime opportunity for NC State to try to take advantage of it. They've got to generate something that gives them momentum, though, Chris. Whether it's a big hit, maybe even a big save or an odd man rush. They need to find something they can build momentum off of and go from there.
Liberty starts from behind their own goal. Fisher's breakout pass misses 2 Flames up that far side. Here's Aiden Rady. Wristed around the wall. Labrizzi lifts it up and out. NC State going to chase after it. They're going to wave off icing. Good hustle by Kyler Sun. He'll be pinned by Fisher behind the goal. Loose puck picked up by Pomerleau. He's going to outlet now for an open man in Hygen. Along for Seth Wall. His centering pass all the way across. Pomerleau holds it at the blue line. Centering pass intended there for Wall is broken up. Now NC State can skate it out. Talon Langston lifts it in. Anderson around the wall, gets caught up in skates. Hygen can't clear. Anderson once more. Just over 3 minutes gone in this third period. Liberty needs a change. Roberts trying to stretch things out with some extra space. Swept in now by Rinaldi. Langston and Gilmer on the forecheck. Darlene swats it back at the blue line, blocked down by Ryan Finch, and he'll pick up speed through the neutral zone. Hands it off at the top of the circle, and the wrist shot from Fredericks ends up high. Liberty back in control and neutral ice. It's Finch again. Steps around Gifford. Slides it across for Fredericks on goal. Pad save made there by Roberts. Pani off the wall. Intercepted nicely by Adam Carney. He'll push it forward. Moving in now Monroe. Circling behind the goal. Looks up top. Adamek's shot might have caught the stick of Conley. Still wide anyhow. Diem pinching in. Holds the zone. Carney again. He's forced off the puck. Gilmore. Outlets for Herman, who's dispossessed. Now Adamek for the Flames. Pass through the middle. Misses everybody. And it'll be icing. Flames going to have to keep some tired legs out. NC State, meanwhile, has that top line of Prasma, Herman, and it looks like a little bit of a switch up. Gifford had been on that right wing earlier on. Finch now on the right wing at the top line.
And so some line adjusting going into the third period here from head coach Tim Healy. It's one of those adjustments you make when you're down on the scoreboard, and he goes with it right here. It's a good move. Gifford, of course, though, really good with a playmaker like Govea. That one hits the beams up top. But I'm interested to see how this works out with Finch up here. With Gifford.
Finch is back on that line.
They're confusing me.
Finch was there
the line
last
change is
week
confusing
for most of the game. And he's going to stay out there now as NC State makes some changes. Govea now at center. He'll face off against Tucker Shields. Reese Johnson also out there for the Iceback. DeMars takes it off the wall. Finds Shields in the neutral zone. He'll chip and chase around Tate Sodden. Govea puts the body on him in the corner. Loose puck along the far wall. DeMars collects. Has a shot deflected wide. Now Reese Johnson has some space. Floats it forward for Finch. He's going to be bodied up. DeMars going to get called for interference here as he stepped in the way of Finch a little bit too far away from the puck. And NC State 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. Will get another chance.
Yeah, this is just one of those prevent. If you take the penalty, you take the penalty. Trying to get back, prevent a easy 1-on-0 situation. So to the box, where 2 minutes is Hayden DeMars. And if you're NC State, this is that momentum I was talking about that you could build something off of. A power play is a great chance to do it. Now they're 1 for 2 on it tonight. They've had good looks, but this is the problem, the start of it, Chris. Again, they're going to have to break out from their own end, and this Liberty team, forechecking shorthanded, has just been phenomenal.
It'll be speed for Herman up that far right side. Around Pomerleau has Prasma coming down the near side. Can't get a pass away, but the captain still has possession. Left for Labrizzi. He'll play catch with Prasma. Back across for Herman. Rink wide looking for Prasma. Anderson steps in front and clears. 30 seconds gone on the man advantage. Good hustle play by Govea. A little miscommunication between Labrizzi and Prasma almost ended up in a turnover.
You know, ironically, Chris, NC State, I think, is thinking too much, which is in contrast to what Liberty head coach Kirk Handy has said his team needs to do, is think less, play more as a unit, and let it be more automation. I think NC State needs to do that.
DeBrito coming forward with Feemster. Chance shorthanded, laying down and blocking the shot was Labrizzi. And now NC State can turn back the other way. Govea moving forward with Johnson, has Prasma as the trailer. Here's Johnson spinning with it. To the middle, it's off the stick of Prasma. Herman to the loose puck, he'll glove it down. Worked back to the blue line, gets past Dahlin and out though. 40 seconds left on the power play.
A big line change for NC State. They're gonna get 4 out of 5 new bodies out there. Power play unit 2, just 30 seconds left for them.
Kaufman centering, that one's knocked down. NC State still in control, Ammons behind, gets it back from Rady. Up top, now Gifford through traffic, deflected wide by Kaufman. Good chance there. 15 seconds left on the power play. Swept to the middle there by Dahlin. Gifford to it off the wall. His pass deflected out, kept in at the blue line by Ammons. Thrown towards goal, it's stuck in the slot. Gifford can't get the shot away. Good play by Diem to break it up. That should kill off the power play. And now Liam Cox-Smith back the other way. Kaufman has it now for NC State. Turned over to Feemster. He'll leave it for Essenmacher. Essenmacher into the zone, throws it off the chest protector of Roberts, who can't control the rebound, but looks like he had a strap come loose. And play will stop as Roberts' helmet comes up.
We saw that last week. I believe it was Dylan Christie who had to shake it off early on. And that's what you're supposed to do. The strap gets loose, just try to get it off immediately, let the refs know, hey, it's loose, I gotta get it back on. Play will stop every single time that happens. Last week, you know, Christie had trouble getting it off. They kept playing for an extra 10, 15 seconds.
Bronson on the draw. Liberty gonna win it though. At the blue line, Pomerleau's shot. Nice glove save from Roberts, and he'll hold on for another faceoff. 12.5 left in the third.
Chris, I think that NC State power play, it definitely generated more ozone time, but it doesn't really feel like they generated that momentum like they needed to come back in this game off of it.
Now NC State breaks out off the faceoff. Rinaldi tried to thread the needle there, had his pass intercepted. Essenmacher will swat it into the zone. Roberts sets it up behind the net. NC State under pressure as they try to break out. Payne into the corner for Rinaldi. Pitching down Essenmacher, and we got a whistle, and as you said, Nick, looks like we've got a tripping penalty coming up here, and NC State gonna have to kill another Liberty power play. Here's a look at it.
And just kind of got the stick caught off, a little out of position there. 2 minutes now to the box. For Michael Rinaldi, the freshman from Newburyport, Massachusetts. And if you're NC State, any momentum you might have gained from that power play is just gone now. You know, they're coming back on the shots on goal category, but I mean, you can't go on the penalty kill against this unit like that.
Cox-Smith looking for a shot, it deflects into the corner. Finch and Sung fight for it there. Reinforcements for Liberty win the battle. Pomerleau to Cox-Smith, stepping into a shot. That gets blocked. Well played by Govea, who fights for it and clears the zone. Great play by the alternate captain.
And then that's going to be a big positive takeaway for NC State is blocking shots. You know, you mentioned it, Chris. They don't get the opportunity to block a lot, but they've done a fantastic job blocking shots today, especially on the penalty kills as well. That's where they've gotten a good portion of them, despite how good Liberty's power play has looked.
Liam Cox-Smith again up the middle. He'll weave into the zone, knocked off his stick, but right to Monroe. Pomerleau over to DeBrito, who gives it back. Swept along now, Cox-Smith, top of the circle, glove save from Roberts, and he'll stop the clock with 1:06 left on the man advantage.
Yeah, Roberts, nice job to get that glove elevated, make a quick catch of it. Looked like a first baseman there. Decent traffic in front, saw the lane though, took it away. But no, 11:15 left. It's a 3-goal game. It's manageable for the Ice Pack to come back, but I mean, the way this third period's gone, Chris, it feels like an insurmountable task.
Liberty again controls off the offensive draw. DeMars looking things over, hands it back to Adamek. Along to Hygen, out in front, Feemster turnaround shot, fought off by Roberts, loose in front of the goal. It's cleaned up into the corner. 45 seconds left on the man advantage. Adamek goes D-to-D for DeMars. He'll walk into the top of the circle, looking for a teammate. Shields in the high slot. That doesn't connect. Adamek down low. Feemster stepping out in front. That one slides through the crease, but wide, and NC State clears. Roberts was without his stick. He can retrieve it now.
Yeah, and you hear the sticks banging against the boards from the NC State bench. They've got to use that juice and that momentum if they kill the rest of these 20 seconds now on this power play for Liberty. They got to use that as momentum and build from it. They've got to find something to generate that momentum, and they're going to get a call.
That'll be a cross-check on Mason Smith. This is exactly what Coach Handy was talking about, and this has been an emphasis for NC State as well, is not getting sucked into the antics. And you can see there on the ground, Payne just rubbing the nose of a Liberty player in the ice a little bit. Smith didn't like it, but that's clear extension, both hands on the stick. Easy call for the official, and so after 12 seconds of 4-on-4, NC State will go on the power play.
Not a good time to wear the number 6 on your jersey. Both teams' number 6 is Rinaldi for NC State, and now number 6 for Liberty, Mason Smith out in the penalty box. But if you're NC State, you know, you've got energy. The bench is doing a good job, but I think we're going to get another penalty.
I'm not sure exactly what the call is there.
The Liberty bench was celebrating.
I didn't see, it sounded like, or at least it looked like they thought there were 5 guys on the ice when it should be 4-on-4. I didn't pick up on that until it looked like NC State had 4 guys on the ice. Now the real question is, did an official on the ice see it and count it? That would be a huge mental error for NC State. And now if they did have 5 on the ice, they seem to have gotten away with
I
it.
think what happened, Chris, was if you look at the ref right now, the way he's talking to Kirk Candy, he's saying that's on me. But he might have told NC State you get your 5th. It might have been miscommunication there, but no, in the ice pack, you got to know that you still got 5 seconds left to 4-on-4. And now we got some confusion at the scorers table as well.
They may be wondering if they're going to reset the clock.
They are.
7 seconds or 6 seconds.
6 or 7 seconds.
I'm not sure what the conversation is with Coach Healy now.
I think he's asking why they put time back, maybe.
They haven't put any back yet. They're going to hold it for 6 seconds.
Yeah, Wade Minter's just counting down.
And then restart the clock once we hit
There
that
we go.
6 seconds. Clock running. That should finish off the penalty on Rinaldi, who's out of the box. And now NC State with a power play for 1:45. Prasma leaves it at the blue line, stepping into it. Nick Labrizzi, lone goal scorer for NC State tonight. That was a power play goal. Johnson looking for Labrizzi. It ends up below the goal line. Herman and Prasma after it. It's Daniel Prasma stepping out, deflected over top on that shot, and now Liberty clears. DeMar's going to chase after it. Labrizzi will defend. Mars carries behind, just looking to bleed clock. 1:15 left on the man advantage. NC State takes over. Now they'll look to set up. Mars has not been shy on the forecheck, even shorthanded. Nice rink-wide pass from the captain, Herman. Prasma fans on the pass. I think he was halfway between a shot and a pass there. And now Liberty carries it out. Tucker Shields forcing his way to the middle. Tied up nicely by Darlene, who takes the puck. And NC State will go back the other way. They can move quickly and have numbers as Shields is behind the play. Johnson, the trailer Prasma, fans on it again, but he finds Johnson, who scores! 9 minutes left. It's a 2-goal game.
Well, you're back in it if you're NC State. 12th career goal for Reese Johnson in his 31st game. Now, Prasma fanned on one earlier. Almost fanned on that last one as well. It looked like he was trying to take a shot. Kind of got deflected, and then Reese Johnson found it right in front of the net. Little backhand home. 2-goal game now, and if you're the Liberty bench, I'm assuming you're going to be upset that they didn't call too many men on the ice, that there was potentially that miscommunication, that confusion that potentially could have NC State lose that power play advantage, but still up 2 goals to your Liberty. Right now, I think the goal is get that one back.
You talk about good teams being able to take advantage of mistakes. They also take advantage of the breaks that they get. NC State capitalizes on the power play. See if they can fight their way back into this one. Only down 2. It only takes one more bounce to really make things interesting. But Liberty responded really well after giving up the goal on the first, and they're on the hunt here in the offensive zone now. Behind the net, Darlene chasing it down in the corner, pinching in Adamick, able to slow things down, but NC State still clears. Diem, though, takes control. Ammons putting pressure on. He got caught up in the skates of Diem. Here's Ammons. He'll float one just over the shoulder of Bernstein and high. NC State with a good chance there. Now Carney looks cross ice. He finds Shields into the offensive zone. Shields rips one wide. That one off the glass and out of the zone.
Chris, that Reese Johnson's goal has brought some life back into the building. The crowd finally getting back into it. Liberty silenced this building for a good portion of tonight.
They've still got control. They've still got a 2-goal lead. DeMars cross for Fredericks. That shot shut down. NC State moving back the other way. Gilmore and Feemster in a foot race. Gilmore trying to force it to the middle. Feemster, great job on defense as he'll hold up Gilmore and shut down the NC State chance in transition. DeMars up the wall for Shields. He gets tied up momentarily by Rinaldi. Langston knocks it off his stick. Now Gilmore gets a touch to it but can't control. Liberty back to it in their own end. 7 minutes left. NC State with the goal to make it 4-2. And to keep things interesting here in Morrisville.
Stick fighting between Sodden and DeMars as DeMars is trying to get off there. We've seen the emotions die down a little bit, especially from what they were at the end of that second period. Be interesting to see as time runs out if they pick back up.
Essenmacher at the blue line far side. Throws it around the wall below the goal line. Centering pass, and a nice job being there. Johnson defensively shuts it down and breaks it out. Tried to headman the puck for Finch. That got disrupted. Now Johnson tied up with Feemster, who's got a hold of his stick and knocks it out of his hands. Play continues. Pomerleau. He fights off a check and draws a penalty, then gets knocked down, and now NC State going to have to kill off the man advantage.
And it's going to be a hold on NC State. That's the call. And then we get one more look. Big hit. I think that might have been Govea or Johnson for NC State. But onto the power play goes Liberty. This is not what you wanted your NC State with just over 6 minutes to go. You got a power play goal. You had some momentum. But back to the box you go. It's going to be Austin Finch to the box for a holding penalty, Chris. Saw a lot of stick holding at the neutral zone from both NC State and Liberty, but didn't really see where Finch got it. It was outside of the play and outside of that action. But the ref saw it, made the call.
Liberty 1 for 4 on the power play tonight. This will be their 5th opportunity. Scored a power play goal in the second. Cross ice pass is off the wall and out. If you're NC State, you're getting to the point you don't have to force anything. One-timer and a big save by Roberts on Finch. But if you're NC State, if you see an opportunity, you're getting later into the game, you need to take some chances here shorthanded if the opportunity shows itself.
And they've been doing that, Chris, at even strength. The last couple of opportunities they have, even that goal, they get the puck on the D end and it's just, let's go. Let's try to get numbers, even if it's even numbers. Let's just get down the ice, see what happens.
Dancing through the neutral zone, Mason Smith has the puck taken off his stick. Darlene clears about halfway through the penalty kill. Adamek under pressure, leaves it for DeMars near his blue line. He's got space through the neutral zone. As he crosses the blue line, he'll hand it off for Mason Smith. Now Adamek fakes the shot, leaves it for Shields. Back to Adamek. He's got DeMars up top again. Adamek to Shields. Down low, Feemster stepping in front. And Roberts will find the loose puck in a pile. And some pushing and shoving after the whistle.
And you got to be careful here for both teams. A helmet comes off of Tucker Shields. He was tangled with Govea. It'd be interesting if we see anyone go to the box here. It doesn't look like it from here. But the emotions are starting to pick back up again. Take a look on the replay. It was on the right side of the screen. I didn't really see how that helmet came off. It looked like it might have got stuck between someone's equipment maybe. As Shields got to put it back on. He's going to take an extra second to do it. Catch your breath as well for the power play. If I'm Shields, I'm taking as long as he can, but he's asking why is his face-off coming back out to neutral ice, but I think the extracurriculars.
This is a good break for NC State, too. It's a free clearance.
That, too.
42 seconds left on the power play for Liberty. 4:58 left in the game. NC State down by 2. Got a power play goal about 11 minutes into the period from Reese Johnson. Now Shields, I think because his helmet came off, he's going to have to come off the ice. Ryan Finch will take his place.
I think something's wrong with this helmet, actually. He just gave it to the equipment manager. I think maybe a strap broke.
And that's going to lead to Liberty wanting a wholesale change of their power play unit. But that's not going to be allowed.
It's going to be a timeout for Kirk Handy. He realized what was going to happen. He calls timeout. Now he's asking for the ref for some explanation here. He's asking, why my player got sent off for a helmet issue. Why don't I get to make more changes? You can't make a wholesale change in that situation. I think that's the call, especially since Liberty's the road team. The home team gets the last change, but I think the refs are saying you can replace him, but that's it. But a timeout for Liberty, that's not the worst thing in the world either. With 4:58 up 2 on the power play. I know it's more of a substitution thing, but if I'm on that bench, I'm saying, hey, 4:58, let's just finish this thing.
Down to the last 5 minutes here. NC State scored first, a power play goal from Nick Labrizzi with 8.5 to go in the first period. Gave them their first and only lead of the game.
Liberty scored a minute and a half later and then another 33 seconds after that to take a 2-1 lead into the first intermission. They got a couple more in the second. And NC State with the most recent goal, another power play tally by Reese Johnson to make it 4-2. And that's where we stand. Liberty wins the face-off in neutral ice. They'll look to set up on what's left of this man advantage. Austin Finch in the box for holding. Puck stuck behind the NC State net here. Down to 30 seconds on the power play. Scrum continues along the wall. Pops loose and out of the zone. Liam Cox-Smith back after it. 18 seconds left on the Finch penalty.
If you're NC State, if you kill off the last 15 seconds now, potential momentum, that's how they got it off a power play, that second goal of the game. Oh, an icing here against Liberty.
Big mistake on the power play. That
with
effectively
6 seconds
kills,
left, yeah. It kills
that penalty.
And if you're NC State, you win the draw. You just take it to neutral ice. You wait for Finch to come out, and then you set up the offense. But the face-off dot's been just such a struggle for the Ice Pack tonight.
Well, the other thing to keep an eye on, it's a little bit early, but a 2-goal lead means that Roberts is probably
looking
coming
at the
out
clock, yeah,
in the next 2 minutes or so, if not a little bit earlier. Penalty over to Finch as Liberty moves through the neutral zone. Cox-Smith trying to step past Mason Payne. Puck goes past Payne, but the man doesn't, and Roberts covers up.
Well, the sophomore from Minot, North Dakota, first liner, maybe asking sophomore on the first line. Well, Liam Cox-Smith shows you he's got a goal already in this game, and the speed that he's just got great skating ability, great stick handling as well, Chris. He's a all-around offensive player. That's why he's on the first line as a sophomore. You don't really see that a lot, especially from teams like Liberty, but man, he can play hockey.
We've talked about the zone time that Liberty has had all game. That's what they want now. They don't need more goals. 4-2 lead will suffice. But what they'd love to do is prevent NC State from emptying the net and getting the extra attacker. One way to do that is not allow NC State out of their own end. Prasma steps past Adamek and around a hit. On his knees, centers it, but it's intercepted, and Diem clears. This one trickling down, icing going to be waved off. Sodden shielding off Aiden Carney. Defenseman knocked to the ice. NC State still able to empty the zone. DeMars chips it in. 3.5 left. Keep an eye on Roberts in the NC State net. Gotta think if the Ice Pack can get down and set up, he'll be coming out soon. Prasma at the blue line. Slides it deep. NC State needs a change. Roberts looking back at the clock again and then at the bench. Pomerleau straight through the neutral zone for the Flames. Lifts it in. And Liberty in on the attack. Shields with the pressure. Has some help from DeMars. Taken away and intercepted by Austin Finch. He moves it forward. Has Govea there. Or pardon me, that is Reese Johnson on the right side. He slides it in on goal. 2:54 to go. An offensive zone faceoff for NC State.
Roberts looks like he's staying in. He's looking at the bench, pointing to the clock. 2:54. There must be a plan in place, Chris. If NC State wins the draw after 5 seconds, I expect him to go. I'm going to keep an eye on him. He's on our far end. That gets blocked a little bit, but he's going to have to stay. Another face-off loss for NC State, Chris, and that's where the root of their problems have started. But they're going to get an icing call here. Does he come out now at 2:45?
We'll see. NC State has not made a move to pull him quite yet.
I think what they might be waiting
for is I think they're trying to get that Prasma Herman
well, you can call your timeout now to get them out there, get them that reset. But with the icing, I don't think you want to do that. Keep those tired legs for Liberty. But again, another loss in the face-off circle.
Clearance knocked down by Sun, but not controlled. DeMars takes it. He's tripped up and goes flying into Roberts as he lost his footing. Hopefully Roberts is okay. As we wait to see him get up, DeMars is up and okay. And he just got upended by the NC State defenseman on the play. Roberts looks to be nodding like he's fine. He's just taking his time getting up.
Yeah.
And it looked like he kind of went back and his legs went wide of the post. Whenever I see a play like this, I think back to the 2006 finals in Game 1 when Andrew Ladd ran into Dwayne Rollison. And Rollison ended up hitting the back of his leg against the post, ended up, I forget again, I think it was some sort of serious sprain. He was out for the rest of the series, and that's the kind of danger you have on a play like that. Fortunately, Roberts is perfectly fine. Faceoff comes out on top of the NC State blue line with 2:35 to go. Ice pack control. They can get into the zone here. I think Roberts goes to the bench. He's ready. Ammons.
Roberts
holds,
goes. Roberts
shoots.
goes.
And the net is empty, as you mentioned there, Nick. Face-off in the offensive zone for NC State.
He's going to come back out, though. Yeah, I was going to say, the way the face-off circle's gone for NC State tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if Roberts goes back out there, and that's exactly what Tim Healy does. They're going to get that the first line out there. But look, Joey Govea out there now on the right wing.
Herman's the best face-off man on this NC State team. He loses that draw, but face-off comes early, so they'll redo it.
And if Roberts sees that puck go behind the blue shirt, he's going. He's in between the face-off circles right now on that end.
Liberty wins the draw. They'll look to clear. NC State gets it back. Herman to the middle for Prasma. That gets intercepted. Roberts was halfway to the bench, and he'll retreat. Feemster after it into the NC State zone. Labrizzi gets a stick to it. Feemster sends it down beneath the goal line. Here's Kyler Sun down to 2:05 left on the clock. Forward for Govea. He gets hit. Stick goes flying as Govea sends it into
Roberts
the zone.
on the bench.
Empty net for NC State. Mason Smith from the red line shoots it in. Gets to the red line, so no icing. Play will carry on. 1:50 to go. Liberty melting the clock here as they pin the puck in the corner in the NC State end. It pops loose for Prasma. Plays it along for Herman. He's got Govea with him. Talon Langston up the far side. Thrown into the corner. It's up and into the netting as it took an awkward carom off the boards and out of play.
I was going to say, that was a bit of an awkward bounce how it got out of play. Here's Roberts, though. He had a bit of an indecision. The stick goes flying for Govea. As NC State's going to use that timeout now. I'm assuming they're just going to rest up that Herman line. We saw Govea out there. The extra attacker was Talon Langston. It's on that fourth line, but Chris, if you're NC State, I'm assuming they go Prasma, Herman, potentially Govea and Gifford. We saw Finch on that first line earlier. Govea was as well, but I'm assuming Govea will be out there. Obviously, we know Prasma and Herman will, but for Liberty, you can line match a little bit here.
I think if you're NC State here, your best chance is probably coming off of a set play here on the faceoff. The two goals they have, you look at them, Labrizzi's a little bit less so than Johnson's, but they were both kind of gritty goals in front off of rebounds. They were second chance tries with bodies in front that were disrupting Bernstein a bit. If you're the Ice Pack here, I think you want to line up that man like they like to do along the wall, right on top of the circle. Get the draw to the man on the circle. You might go back to the blue line in the middle of the ice for a shot, but get bodies to the net, get a shot through, and try and find a rebound. That's where they've had their success tonight. We'll see what they go with here.
Langston's that extra attacker, and they've got Govea at the right wing with that first line, centered by Herman, Prasma on the wing.
Herman unable to win the draw. Bernstein to the loose puck behind the goal. He'll throw it up the far wall. Cox Smith gets it out. Govea to the loose puck, but it's a hand pass as Mason Payne pawed it down.
Well, if you're NC State, #1 goal again, win the faceoff. We've said it a lot this period, Chris. They've struggled there. They've gotten better as the game gone on, but Liberty's still winning about 75-80% of these faceoff draws. Herman, again, just can't win that one.
State might have caught a break there. It's one into the Liberty zone. Pomerleau behind his net, 1:17 to go. He'll lift it up and out. This one bouncing in towards Roberts, who's back in the net. Good hustle by Payne to get to the slowly moving puck. Now he tries to clear, has it stolen away though by Shields. Turning in the corner, plays it up the wall for Pomerleau with 60 seconds to go. Thrown on goal, stopped by Roberts, but a juicy rebound cleared out of the danger area. In the corner, they'll battle again. Shields wins it over Herman. Back to Pomerleau at the point. He'll walk the line. Looking through traffic, his shot hits a stick. As Govea got a piece of it, it's out of play.
Yeah, the second that NC State had to put Ethan Roberts back in, that kind of was a nail in the coffin, in the coffin for NC State. only 47 seconds left. They're trying to draw something up, but again, it starts in the face-off circle for NC State. They're going to have to roll out a new line. Holden Coffin's going to take the draw.
NC State first to the loose puck on the tie-up. It'll be Fisher getting a piece of the clearance, so no icing. Pitchforks it around the
Roberts
wall.
out
Kaufman
again.
to it. Empty net for NC State. Looking to the middle. Slap shot there from Ammons as he just swatted at the bouncing puck. And Bernstein in the right place to make the save. 32 seconds to go.
That's the right play from Ammons right there. Normally you expect a goaltender to be surprised, but Bernstein was waiting on that. I don't know if he expected Ammons to shoot it, but he was in the right position there. Ammons trying to catch him lacking there, but a really good save from Bernstein with 32 seconds to go.
Ammons right off the faceoff, rebound there. Oh, it's through the crease. What a chance there for Langston under the pad of Bernstein and wide. That would have given NC State some time and a little bit of hope. 20 seconds left. NC State looking for another push. Stretch pass misses Langston. This is going to be icing. 14.4 on the clock.
It was there for NC State off the rebound. It's a juicy rebound for Talon Langston. And it looks like Bernstein got a piece of it. He did with it looked like, it went underneath his pad, but he just got a bit on his pad as he was trying to go down on that stick side to deflect that shot, keep it wide, and keep this a 4-2 game as Liberty's going to take game one of this doubleheader, Chris.
I want to give some credit there. I believe it was Feemster, the defenseman. Good stick control. He didn't go after the puck immediately. He allowed it to slide across and avoided potentially knocking it in his own net. Clock runs out. NC State, as we mentioned, needed to win the third period, trying to set the tone for tomorrow. They do win the third period, but they come up short here, Nick. But not a bad showing against number 4 in the country.
No, they didn't, and they got better as the game went on. They started the game out 1-0, 4 straight goals. I thought the Ice Pack responded well, but against the number 4 team of the country, if you're NC State, you're gonna go up to Lynchburg tomorrow. It's always a tough game to play there. They played there 4 times before against their D1 team up there. They've lost all 4 times. But you got something to hang your hat on at the end of this third period. If you're Team Ely, you got to be proud at the way NC State was able to kind of stay in this game in the third period. Liberty did a fantastic job sticking to their style of hockey. If you're, again, for NC State, you've got some momentum tomorrow. But if you're the Flames, you win game 1, you go back home with a victory, and you get to play them again.
I think if you're NC State, you look at this game, obviously you're not really going to fully dive into this game until next week. You do have the game up at Liberty tomorrow. But I look at this game and I think Liberty gives NC State a great blueprint of what it takes to be consistently one of the best at the Division I level. We talked about it particularly in the first period, but I thought throughout the game, Liberty was incredibly consistent. They didn't get too high, they didn't get too low. Even though they were playing what looked like a perfect game and still found themselves down 1-0, they didn't change things up and try to do things differently. They stuck to what they had done the entire time, and it only took a minute and a half for them to take back the lead and never looked back afterwards.
If the system works, stick to it. And you're down 1-0 early. There's no need to change it, especially the way Liberty was playing. And you got to give a lot of credit to them, especially the 2 goals they immediately got afterwards, as NC State will sing the alma mater. It looks like Liberty's going to wait for a prayer afterwards at center ice. But again, NC State did a lot of good things well. Obviously, though, you're going to model yourself after Liberty. Liberty, Chris, I think overall was just a better team tonight. Got to give credit for NC State for sticking in it. But if you're the Flames, first D1 game in the books this season, off to a good start.
Yeah, and I think if you're NC State, you knew this was going to be a measuring stick game. It would be huge to come away with a win, and NC State certainly believes they have the ability to, and you can see it. They only lost this game 4-2. Shots were 34-20, and Liberty definitely controlled most of the play. But you look at this, it's the first time for NC State as a Division I team, first visit from this Liberty Division I squad, and it was a respectable result.
No, it was, and you look further at NC State's schedule for the rest of the season. Don't want to look too far, but Kentucky, big opponent coming up. They've played them very, very hard in the past. They've been great matchups. You look further in the season as well. NC State's got a couple of long travelers coming in. We have Oregon coming in here in the next semester. Of course, UNC still on the docket, but Now, this isn't going to be the same season that we saw from NC State last year where they were in it for every single game. Now, there's going to be some games like this where the team that's been in D1 longer is going to dominate play. They're going to play their style of hockey, and it's going to be up to the Ice Pack to adjust to it. I think they did the best that they could tonight.
That is going to do it for us here at Invisalign Arena. We've got some post-game coverage coming up, player and coach interviews. We'll wrap things up here when we come back. The final count at Invisalign Arena, Liberty 4, NC State 2.
I would never show my teeth. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate,
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
hot soup, hot air balloons, hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese. Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. These programs cover doctor's appointments, hospital visits, prescriptions, shots, and more. As parents, we get peace of mind knowing that our children are covered if they are sick or get injured. You may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if you've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Seriously? Why do you do it? You ignore the signs and the flashing lights.
That's my dad.
That's my mom behind those cones. How would you feel if that was your family? Flashing lights mean move over.
From every town and every background, your greatest adventure awaits right where you are.
Isn't it time you found your own inner hero? Join your Neighbors Helping Neighbors. We need you, North Carolina. Be a volunteer today.
We're on our way to see the Canes, and Stormy's behind the wheel. Bad call, Stormy. Put down your phone and focus on driving. A public safety message from the Carolina Hurricanes, your local trusted choice independent insurance agent, and NCAST.
NC State suffering their first loss of the season at the hands of the Liberty Flames. 4-2 the final. Chris Lehman alongside Nick Perazzi post-game here. And for NC State, a respectable showing. Certainly you come into this game, you want to make a statement and try and beat a Liberty team that is considered one of the best in the country. And while they really were outplayed for the first 8 to 10 minutes of that game, they got their feet under them and they were able to play, especially after the first period. They were able to play the Flames pretty even.
They did, but Chris, we didn't mention this at all. And I thought about it, when we were walking over here to do this post-game show. Last season, a lot of times, NC State got a goal on the board, and we would say it, they took a breath. They took their pedal off the metal. They took a second back, and all of a sudden, that goal that they got doesn't matter anymore because they got equalized. Kind of happened again in that first period. Those two quick goals, 2-1 Liberty, the quick one to start the second period, 3-1 Liberty. But after that, after you take away the last about 39 minutes of this game, it's a 1-1 game. If you're NC State, you got to be proud of the adjustments you made. Obviously, Liberty's outplayed you for a majority of this game. They controlled a lot of pace, but there's a lot of stuff you got to be proud about if you're NC State. First actual D1 versus D1 game here at home. They put up a respectable fight.
Absolutely. One thing they did win was the special teams battle. 2 for 4 on the power play. They killed 4 of 5 against Liberty. So that's another positive to take away from this game and something to look at as you move forward into tomorrow and say to the guys, hey, we can get some chances on the man advantage. We've been able to make them pay for it.
A couple bounces go your way. A lot of the bounces early in that first period were not going NC State's way as well. Get a couple bounces, you never know. And that's why we don't, write these games off on paper. We actually go and play them. A lot of people came into the night thinking, Liberty's going to win easily. NC State put up a good fight. And, for the Ice Pack, it's not going to be like last year where they're going to be favored in a lot of these games. First year in D1, there's going to be growing pains. The competition's going to be a lot harder. The brand and dominance NC State built in D2, they got to build that up again in D1. It's going to take some time, but you got to be proud of what you saw against the number 4 team in the entire country tonight. Give a lot of credit to the Liberty Flames. The way that program is set up is phenomenal. And they come in here to Raleigh, they put up a great fight, control a lot of this game. Some stuff they need to work on as well, but overall, I think they've got a good team for this upcoming season.
No doubt. And one thing I'm thinking of that you mentioned to me before the game is you look back at the 4 games NC State played against Liberty's Division I squad prior to this season. They gave up 5+ goals in every single one of them. Tonight, they only give up 4.
Yeah, it was actually 7+ goals in all of those games. And
Even
NC
better.
State, the most they scored, I think, 4 or 5. And, they give up 4 this game, but, they put up 2. It was a great fight. I think NC State, I think Alan Trozetto said it best going into that third period. I think they just were in their head a little bit too much. You saw the well-oiled machine of Liberty. That's how those D1 teams play. NC State, they've got to get some more of that oil in there a little bit. They're running a little rusty, a little creaky, but again, growing pains as that D1, from that transition from D2 to D1.
We're going to talk with head coach Tim Healy about this one on the other side. NC State on the wrong side of the decision tonight, but a good showing. 4-2 losers against Liberty. We'll be back with the head coach. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you as we wrap things up. Unfortunately, unable to get a hold of head coach Tim Healy. Still talking with his team in the locker room as they look back at this one. I think plenty of positives, though, to take away from it, and they got a chance to build on it against this Liberty team tomorrow.
Yeah, they do. And, obviously, it's not sunshine and rainbows. You lost the game, of course. I think we got to put that out there. NC State's got some stuff to work on. We're mentioning all the positives. I think specifically for NC State, they just got to play more as a cohesive unit. A lot of new faces in here. I think as the season goes on, we'll see NC State be able to break out of their own zone a little easier. That's been a big problem for them the first couple of games. So also sustaining some O-zone time. A lot of times they'll get a couple of seconds in the O-zone, but a bad pass or just an inerrant pass to nobody, and then all of a sudden you're back on defense going through the neutral zone.
Yeah, it'll just take some time to get up to that pace, and we saw them get to it at times, and I think as the season goes on, we'll see them continue to get better and more consistent. But I think the big thing to take away, looking back at last week and at this week, NC State never really lost their cool in either of these games the way that we saw at times last year, and I think that is a huge indicator of what we're going to see from this team moving forward. They're going to be able to look at the mistakes they've made and learn from them and then not make those mistakes again.
And again, the leadership of this team for NC State, I think has grown a lot. The culture has grown a lot as well. We didn't see a lot of bad penalties being taken. They kept their head in for a lot of it. A couple times, obviously, you're not going to, but that's how hockey games work. They look a lot more composed than they did last year, Chris.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see as NC State heads up to Liberty. They'll be in Lynchburg tomorrow night at LaHaye Ice Center. You can catch that on ESPN+. Final count tonight, NC State, good showing against the tough Liberty Flames squad. It's 4-2, the final.